get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype.
ชอบสแต็กจากทีม DRX อะค่ะ Vision Striker เก่าอะค่ะเขาเล่นเป็นตัวซัพพอร์ตอะค่ะแล้วเราก็เล่นเป็นตัวซัพพอร์ตเขาเล่นเป็นตัวซัพพอร์ตได้ดีอะค่ะก็เลยชอบก่อนที่จะเริ่มแข่งนะคะก็ซ้อมค่ะซ้อมแล้วก็ฝึกฝนตัวเองค่ะเล่น Valorant เยอะๆค่ะหาข้อผิดพลาดแล้วก็หาอะไรใหม่ๆมาเล่นนะคะร่วมกับทีมวอร์มอัพรูทีนตอนนี้ก็ถ้าเป็นส่วนใหญ่เลยนะคะก็จะยิงสนามยิงเป้าอะค่ะแล้วก็ยิงเดธแมทต่ำๆก็ประมาณ 5-10 เกมต่อวันนะคะอันดับ 1-3 โดยประมาณค่ะแล้วก็เล่นแรงอย่างน้อยก็ประมาณ5เกมต่อวันค่ะถ้าตอนนี้เพลงที่ชอบไม่เชิงว่าชอบเท่าไหร่ค่ะแต่ก็เหมือนกับว่าหลอนอยู่ในหัวค่ะก็คงเป็นเพลงสักเพลงหนึ่งที่ชื่อผมอะอะค่ะอยู่ดีอยู่แคมป์ก็ปาร์ตี้กันอยู่แล้วก็มีคนเปิดเพลงนี้มาแล้วอยู่ดีมันก็แบบติดหูมาตลอดเลยค่ะเพลงเนี้ยif pistol ถ้าเป็นปืนพกอะค่ะจะชอบโกสมากกว่าคลาสสิกค่ะส่วนถ้าเป็นปืนหลักก็จะชอบแวนดัลค่ะถ้าให้เลือก150ปิงหรือจอ60เฮิร์ตซ์เลือกจอ60เฮิร์ตซ์มากกว่าค่ะเพราะว่าเคยเล่นจอ60เฮิร์ตซ์มาก่อนแล้วก็คิดว่าน่าจะเล่นได้ดีกว่า150ปิงค่ะถ้าให้คอสเพย์คงจะเป็นไวเปอร์ค่ะเพราะว่าตัวมันสวยดีค่ะแล้วก็เป็นเมนเอเจนต์ของเราด้วยค่ะคิดว่าในทีมทั้ง3คนมีคนที่ขำๆน่าจะประมาณ 2-3 คนนะคะก็มีพี่จินมีซีโฟที่แบบเข้าขากันดีมากๆส่วนก็มีคนนึงเป็นเป็ดอะค่ะที่แบบอยู่ดีก็พูดอะไรตลกๆออกมาค่ะประมาณนี้ค่ะน่าจะเป็นเพื่อนแล้วก็พี่น้องค่ะเป็นฟิลครอบครัวค่ะสตรอเบอรี่ค่ะทำไมล่ะคะมันอร่อยค่ะแล้วก็สีมันสวยค่ะมันเป็นสีชมพูมันน่ารักดีก็คงจะเป็น AE ค่ะที่เรายังไม่เคยชนะเขาในรอบชิงชนะเลิศค่ะก็เราจะพยายามชนะเขาให้ได้เป้าหมายส่วนตัวก็แข่งเกมนี้ค่ะให้เป็นที่1ของภูมิภาคค่ะก็เป็นแชมป์ของ APAC ประมาณนั้นค่ะแล้วก็ถ้ามีเวิลด์ก็อยากมีโอกาสได้ไปแข่งเวิลด์ร่วมกับเพื่อนๆในทีมนี้ค่ะถ้าเป็นในช่วงระหว่างแข่งก็คงจะพยายามตั้งสติค่ะแต่ก็ส่วนใหญ่จะได้แบบกำลังใจจากเพื่อนร่วมทีมมากกว่าค่ะว่าแบบถ้าทำพลาดก็แบบไม่เป็นไรเราโฟกัสวินใหม่วินหน้าอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะส่วนถ้าเป็นหลังแข่งแล้วถ้าเรายังรู้สึกแบบแย่อยู่กับอะไรที่เราเล่นผิดพลาดไปก็คงจะอยู่คนเดียวค่ะอยู่กับตัวเองค่ะแล้วก็คิดทบทวนเรื่องที่ผ่านๆมาอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะปัญหาของชีวิตตอนนี้ก็คือเบบี้ทีแซดค่ะชอบกินของกินแล้วอยู่ดีก็เอาขยะมากองไว้ที่โต๊ะของโพลี่อย่างเดียวเลยค่ะไม่ยอมเก็บชอบเยลลี่มากกว่าไข่มุกค่ะไม่เคยกินมัฟฟินเลยค่ะรู้จักแต่ชื่อแต่ไม่เคยกินเลยค่ะก็เลยบอกไม่ได้ชอบฮอตพอตมากกว่าค่ะชอบอะไรที่แบบมันสดได้อะค่ะรู้สึกว่ามันไม่ค่อยเลี่ยนเท่าไหร่ถ้าน้ำซุปที่มันอร่อยแล้วก็กินได้นานค่ะถ้าชอบที่สุดของพลอยน่าจะเป็นซีรีส์เกมออฟโทนค่ะชอบมากสนุกแล้วก็ดีที่สุดในใจแล้วค่ะก็ถ้าอยากคิดว่าแบบอยากจะเข้ามาแข่งเกมแล้วก็อยากจะมาเป็นฟิลอะไรโปรเพลเยอร์อะไรอย่างนี้แบบที่พลอยกำลังทำอยู่ก็แค่อยากให้มีความตั้งใจจริงๆค่ะแล้วก็มีความขยันฝึกฝนตัวเองขึ้นมาค่ะส่วนใหญ่ก็คือหลักๆเลยคือความตั้งใจที่แน่วแน่ค่ะเดี๋ยวก็ประสบความสำเร็จเองค่ะส่วนใหญ่พลอยจะไม่ค่อยได้ทำงานอดิเรกอะไรค่ะก็มีแค่เล่นกับหมาประมาณนั้นนะคะเล่นกับหมาแล้วก็นั่งดูซีรีส์ค่ะแล้วก็มีไปรีแลกซ์เล่นเกมอื่นบ้างค่ะ
My favorite player is Sugar Zero because he's a controller player and I'm also a controller main. So like I usually inspire from him, like different plays and all. I usually try not to exhaust myself. Like I just get up. I don't even bath sometimes, and just get up, have a Red Bull, and just play the game. First, I never did a warm up. I just used to go in the game. But after like coming to this team, I got a coach and he like trained me to I have to play DMs and range and do all the aim routine before playing a match. So I do range and a bit of 1-2 DMs. That's all. I usually listen to sad songs because I feel even if I'm happy or even if I'm sad, those songs are like constant and it's kind of helped me like focusing and all. So my personal goal is to be like, I want this team to be the top one in the whole world and be an individual best player in this world, and also to win the VCT Game Changers. I guess Jappees, because she's like very comfortable with me, and I'm comfortable with her, and she laughs a lot. I don't know, she keeps on laughing whenever I look at her in every interview. Like, I'm standing there, she's like, Casper, you just go. Like, she doesn't matter, no one else matters to her but me. She's like, just go. It would be Reina because she's too hot. I drink a Red Bull a lot because it helps me, give me the energy to play the games. I usually do a lot of that. Is, like when we're in a panic situation, I just aim, spray at the person and just pray that if he dies. My favorite skin of analyst, I guess it's RGX. The female scene is not that huge right now, but it will be like in some time where people shouldn't stop playing. It's hard, I know. People have, like, females do have many difficulties, but they shouldn't give up and keep playing the game.
Now I Welcome to VCT Game Changers APAC series. It is time for Open Overtime. With me is Tash Bunny, and we will be your casters for tonight.
This is very exciting because overtime means this is one of the final chances these girls are gonna have to make it all the way up there to Elite. And we know that Elite is the mountain, the tippy top of the mountain that they want to be as we move on forward to the second half of the year here for VCT Game Changers.
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot of pressure for the teams. The hard work that they've poured out all throughout all of the opens is going to be seen right here. I think it's going to be blood, sweat, and probably tears for the ladies who really want to make it to Elite.
Yeah, I think this is actually a very interesting moment because this is a situation where it's no longer like the beginning of stage 2, where we saw the same girls from the same teams playing, but now we're seeing roster reshuffles, new teams coming up on top, and even teams that we thought usually would be up there in the top 3 may not even be there after this. This is a situation where it's a do or die, the last chance to make it over there to Elite, where we go over to some of the most interesting moments here for the Game Changers. For now, let's have a look here at the calendar of events. We already finished opens, and now we're on to overtime. So just happening from the 25th all the way till 26th. Now, if you see, also 30 is due to the 3rd of July. So this is where we are right now. So Donut, what's your opinion of this tournament so far?
Well, basically, all of the top 3 teams have already been assigned to VCT Game Changers Elite, right? So we have the likes of Inari's team and Brent Victress at the very, very top. And this is now the time for the rest of the teams to shine because it's overtime. And actually, we will be seeing one of the top teams, actually 2 of the top teams here. It's Orangutan and as well as Xeaora, because they have to make it to the slot for open overtime. So this is stage 2 right now. We see AE, Brand Victress, and as well as, surprisingly, SMG. XNC has always been at the top 3 and the top 4, but because of SMG's consistency, they're really sitting comfortably there together with these top 2 teams. But this is now, as you mentioned, do or die for one of these teams right here. So actually, some of them have already been eliminated because of their defeat from last week. But a lot of new names, a lot of new faces are to be seen and have the chance to qualify for the mountain that they have to climb, which is Elite.
You know what's really interesting? Since we started on stage 2, which me and you actually casted a few weeks ago, I believe, I have found myself not only, interested in the teams that are already up there, but I'm also finding myself see the potential on the teams who didn't even make it up to the top 3. We can see the potential there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more. But for now, let's talk a little bit about the brackets. We are at the qualification stage where we're going to be seeing X10 Sapphire versus Orangutan, and we have L-Strix versus Zolmaraki. And the winner from these will be going straight to Elite. And after that, we're going to go to the lower brackets where we either see Enigma Galaxy FE and AG Aresta, as well as Fear Eater Xeaora and Big Sight before they go into the lower bracket semi-finals qualifications before they finally make it to Elite. And I have to say, as you go to the lower bracket, the road is long, arduous. It's tiring. It's not as easy as the upper brackets.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the upper bracket, you just have to overcome a best of 5, which we will be seeing between X10, Sapphire, and Orangutan. And I think it's going to be a lot of pressure for them because only one team will qualify for stage 4 Elite tonight. So as early as the first stream, you guys will be seeing who will make it to stage 2 of FSL VCT Game Changers.
You know what's really also interesting? Speaking about these 2 teams coming up, X10 Sapphire as well as Orangutan. So X10 is a team that we always see on the top 3. So now SMG has taken up that spot where we've talked about this, where SMG, they never quite make it, never quite clinch it. But it feels like in the last few months, they finally kind of figured it out. But for now, for X10, this is a team that consists of Alyssa, Baby Teasy, Ginny, Muffin, and Polly. And you know that I'm a big fan of Ginny. I've been following her all the way from the CSGO days all the way to here. I feel kind of like a stalker now when I say it that way. But when we talk about them in this situation, we are currently in a situation where we're just like confused as to like what exactly is going on with the team? Why exactly have they been overtaken by SMG, and what can they do to make sure that they make it out on top? Because this is the first time they didn't comfortably or snugly make it up there. And now, I'm so sorry, I really want to talk about Orangutan as well, because this is also a team that I've been following very, very closely. So for Orangutan, they actually went to a roster reshuffle recently. We say goodbye to Mythica and welcome Chloe, who was previously from Nigma Galaxy. Now for Chloe, I think it was you and I. We casted for her game when it was with
GX, right?
Yeah, with Nigma Galaxy, and we were just like, Chloe has a lot of potential, and seeing her coming into this team, kind of like, I can really have an idea what exactly they have in mind to do with her and how exactly can they play with her chemistry. But then again, she's very new. How fast or how long does it take for a team to solidify their chemistry as a player yourself?
I mean, I've been seeing a lot of tweets from this team actually, from Japeeps as a leader, and then them taking on very comfortably Chloe as a player. I don't really see that there's going to be a big shift because of how funny their tweets are to each other. These very friendly banters can really make up for a lot of strength when it comes to the bond of being a team. And looking at the map selection, I guess really the bond is seen as to how they have managed to decide their maps.
Why do you
there
think
will
these
be
maps are
strong
chosen?
and weak maps for certain teams, right?
Yeah.
Usually OG would just select Bind, the likes of Icebox, but they have now taken into consideration the map of Fracture. They didn't really ban this.
That's crazy.
Bind now, right? I mean, given the roster changes, now Bind isn't going to be an option for them. Probably they are giving way to some of their team members who aren't really comfortable in this map, and because of this allows that whole level of coordination, collaboration between the teams. So I'm pretty excited to see their first pick, which is Ascent.
You know, seeing Split in the mix here, I'm just like, maybe I mean, in my mind, as if I'm a player, I'd be like, this is our last chance to play Split before it's removed for competitive play, tournament play. So like, let's just play it for the last time, you know. But then again, in a lot of situations, not a lot of teams actually like Split because of how difficult it is for attack. It's a very difficult map with lots of chokeholds, which is why I was quite surprised to see that map. And so far, when you look at Fracture, the only iconic team in Game Changers that I've seen play that map has been SMG. They played that map like a champ. They know how to play attack and defense, which is honestly interesting, because usually when we look at the last Open, we're just like, everyone's banning out Fracture. And now everyone, well, not everyone, but we're starting off with a Fracture map. And in your opinion, what can we expect from that map?
I think we'll be able to see the map of Fracture. I think both of these teams will really win out their own map picks, not unless something really happens. I think there would be like an unfortunate situation wherein they wouldn't really be coordinating as well as they expected to be. But there's a reason why they selected these maps. They might be statistically powerful in each, but it all boils down to the timing. I would really think that we can get to the map of Fracture only if they really show and pour their hearts out during the whole of the game. And as I mentioned, it's not going to be an easy task. This is going to be a best of 5. So consider this like it's already your grand finals between the two.
Yeah, because technically if you win this, you go over to Elite. If you lose this, you drop down. So there is another chance, but we talked about lower brackets. It's a long journey. It can be mentally strenuous. And in this situation, I think most of the teams want to play less games if possible. But for some teams, if they go lower brackets, they're like, okay, that's extra practice for us. I don't know. Thinking about the silver lining here, because I honestly don't really know what happens behind the scenes. I've never really been a pro player myself. So now when we talk about these teams in general, I feel like this match in particular, has a lot of tension. It's going to be very intense. For Orangutan, they are a team that went from maybe, almost the second half of the ladder, climbing up to the top here. They not only want to prove themselves, but they also are a team that really shows consistency and improvement throughout every single open they participate in. And as for X10, they're a team that just says, hey, we should be on top there. We've always been on top there. We need to defend that title. So there's a lot at stake for both teams here, but at the same time, if we can have predictions, okay, you don't have to go who wins or who loses, but are we gonna go to a map 5? What's the scoring gonna be in your opinion?
I think there is really a big possibility for us to get to map number 5. I think it all will depend on the first map because Ascent is pretty tricky because both of these teams have high win rates. 83% is the win rate of X10 Sapphire for this specific map, but OG selected this for a reason. There's probably a reason why they selected this, and Chloe as a Sentinel, it's going to be quite hard to breach each of the sites or even try and attempt a flank in these situations. But definitely I think we can really get to map 5. I don't really want to jinx it because the last time I did a prediction, I think it was the last open, it didn't really age so well. I said that everything will be a best of 3, but no, it didn't really happen. But yeah, I mean, for both of these teams, with how much they have performed and how much they have did shine all throughout the opens, I think there is a possibility.
Yeah, when you look at the teams in general, now that you mentioned that Chloe was going to be Sentinel, this is kind of new to me because I thought that she would be going for Initiator because that's what we saw her playing in the previous team. Regardless, we have seen Chloe's capabilities in just anchoring a site, and I think she does a hell of a good job doing so regardless of what agent she plays. And that also comes to great game sense, not only the usage of an agent. Yes, the utilities can play a part, but when you are very aware of the game sense of what's going on around you, of the information you get, you know how to carefully prepare with it regardless of what's in your hands. And in this case, it's going to be Killjoy, and I'm really excited to see how they're going to perform because the last games that I casted for, or I was actually witnessing, was the panel for the APAC, and it has been really interesting seeing players really play anchor with Killjoy on defense, but also for attack. I mean, if you look at Bleed in particular, if you remember Pith on how he plays the Killjoy, he plays Lurks, and I'm curious to see if it's going to be the same situation for Chloe or it's going to be a more passive in the back prevent anti-lurk situation for her instead.
Yeah, I think I can really see a theme here, an interesting one for X10 Sapphire. Ginny, we all know her to be the clutch goddess for X10, and she takes on that initiator role. But usually she does play a Sova. So this is quite surprising that they have adapted to the current times wherein KO will be selected. But also Alyssa on that Fade is something that we have to look out for. Fade, ever since she has been part of the meta, she's been quite scary to go up against. Although, yes, you can destroy all of her abilities and utilities.
But it's still information.
It's still hard to really counter the information that you've already given to your opponents. But I have to say, what I really love about Orangutan's pick is Lax as a controller. I don't know if you've really encountered her before, but she used to be a very strong controller for Oasis Gaming in the previous 2021 VCT Game Changers run. So this pickup is gonna be quite interesting, and maybe that's the reason why they're in the upper brackets. They've become the solid team, and here in Ascent, this is where the pressure goes on.
It sounds
it's
like
when you can really build the momentum.
It sounds like what do you call that thing? A fantasy team when you look at Orangutan right now, right? You just get these pickups left and right, and it's honestly such great pickups because they make sure to pick up what they need in terms of how it can work with their chemistry and gameplay. But coming back to what you mentioned about Fade is I would think it's definitely an agent where you kind of need to play around her utilities. And looking at that, Sway already on the site. Gonna be clearing out the back here, but we do have Baby TZ plays the back that sprays out, and we already have our first thing. I'm into Sway. Baby TZ gets 2, gets 3! Oh my god, can it be a 3-4?
One enemy remaining.
4K in the first round. Woo! I have to say, that was fun to see.
Yeah, I mean, we were really hyping up the initiators, but at that point, Baby TZ was just really an anchor of the site. I mean, she did deal a little bit of damage from the bullets that OG really threw at her, but no, she didn't back down, and that's a solid sentinel right here. When she got the second one, okay, that was doable, but even getting the fourth and the third is something undeniable for Baby TZ. Before, she would usually use the Cypher, but now that she has embraced Killjoy, I think there has to be more versatility to her now, and I think they want to go back B even this time, even if they have been destroyed by her previously, but at least Polly gets a kill.
I'm actually really curious. We did see the members of Orangutan actually got Flash Libas. Hold on to that, but Sway. Only 4 HP left. Coming back to what I was saying, a flash coming out. I was wondering if Kachao mistakenly had flashed her teammates, or if Ginny actually flashed it. I wasn't too sure what happened, but regardless, that flash was the reason Baby TZ was able to get that.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
Getting that. Finding Flax close to the spawn area here, has full control of the spike. Sway does throw out the conquest. Not gonna be getting any value out of that. Chloe from the backside here, but Sway going inside as a 2 for Polly. It's 4 actually, as Muffin finds the last one. They're gonna get round number 2. I have to say they only lost Ginny as well, so it's not necessarily a full loss for them either.
Definitely. I mean, the second round, we're seeing double 4Ks from the team of Xeaora Sapphire. So this is great for them, a great start to pick up the momentum in their pace. But OG now has the bye. So whatever that they're planning now to aggress, they might need to do it again to catch OG off guard. But at the moment, with one loss, I seem to think that they still have the role here. It depends really on how OG will play this one out. There is a dink coming in for Sway. She's down to 79 HP with a little chunk of armor left for her, but there's still this intention to take control of mid. But I'm quite surprised, Tash Bunny, with how much freedom they're giving to OG there in mid. You only see the alarm bot for the Killjoy, and then the rest of them, they want to hold down the ground because they're holding Spectres, right? So they want to do these close encounters against OG.
You know, when you think about that, I think it's more of just confidence coming from them. Yes, they can roam around mid if they want to, but I think this comes from confidence as Muffin gets Kachao out of the way. Beautiful fragment coming up from Ginny. Gives the help of Ginny, but Lax played this more criminal. Only good for 1. Here comes the flash from Ginny. I'm gonna try and get that information, but all she has is just a sheriff. No problem. Get 2. Beautiful play, and that's exactly why they gave up mid, because they said it's fine if they have mid so long as top side mid near market entry is in their control. Let's look at that again.
Yeah, that's gonna be quite heartbreaking for OG because they lost all of the guns. They just gave it all away to the team of XNS. And with these sheriffs, even though it's a low buy, it can be very, very powerful for the ladies of Xeaora Sapphire. And they know really how to play it well. I think the mix of having one initiator for each of the site gives them a lot of control, and when they need it, they just throw in the utilities, just like how we saw Ginny throw that fragment to give them or to allow them no space to come in through garden. And this time they want to go through mid. There's an alarm bot, so they will be signaled yet again that they might be going B.
But Muffin coming in through market here. You have someone in the backside. Muffin immediately gets the headshot onto Japips. Sway, she wants to get those picks here. She's gonna run straight to the backside. They know there's 1, but they doesn't know there's 2. There is a conquest coming through. Alyssa does get Chloe out of the way. It's gonna be instant headshot. 1 from Kachao, 1 from Sway. Muffin comes in from the backside. Good for 1. You are going to be hearing that first plant come through. Lax making sure mid is not going to be encroached. Does hear the footsteps from the backside here. We don't know if Polly is aware. Lax throwing out the paranoia. Does see someone over there and is going to be Muffin taken out here with the Sheriff. And for us, only one person left. Two, actually, it's a 2-on-2 situation. Kachao playing from the side here. He does have the Rolling Thunder, throws it out. Polly gonna be concussed. Lax gets the headshot. We're seeing a flash here. Polly good for one. Is she good for two? Playing the smoke criminal does get the tap here. Kachao moving forward. She does not know if she's playing for time, and he does not realize as Kachao gets it. And this is a thrifty round for OG.
And a beautiful one, to say it. I mean, OG, they were working with sheriffs and, menial weapons, but against them, I think it was really the use of all of the utility for the rest of the members of OG. That Rolling Thunder from Kachao made all of this possible because both of them were just stunned. They were dazed and confused where they would be coming from the sites when it comes to the retake. And also at that point, the repositioning from OG, I think that was a chef's kiss of a round for them because they knew how to play their cards right and they played it very, very well. I might not have the best firepower, but I do have the utility, and that's why this is the beauty of Valorant. All of the agents have their own strength, and that was just seen in that previous round.
I was speaking to Enigma Galaxy's previous coach, which is Trix, and she told me something very interesting. A lot of players, be it on the main stage or game changers, when they're put in a situation where they're forced to go an eco round compared to guns, they play a little bit different. They're playing with a different sort of mindset, and this possibly is something that happened there for the likes of Orangutans because of that drop hips. Yes, baby TZ, gonna be a little bit hard to anchor now without your Sentinel, but Lax plays the criminal here, does get a spray out, gets one, does not realize there's one behind Generator, and only Polly with the trade. Sway coming here, gonna throw that out. Beautiful use of utility, just kind of bait them out, just to flush them out here. The teamwork as Genie gets way out of the way. Genie gets 3 already, that'll be drop hips. Flash does come out here. Kachao, the only lady standing, is a 1-on-2 here as Polly throws out the smoke. Doesn't get one, throws it out, gets one, gonna be 2, not quite. As Polly gets all the information she needs, bringing us to a 4-1.
That was a round that was scare of Jenny. I mean, the amount of pressure that she was able to taking down two in the process, because OG thought that they were comfortable. They already took down the Sentinel plus Fade on that site, but little did they know that Jenny was already there coming to their rescue. And Jenny able to get the 3K in that situation made it possible for X10 Sapphire to get that win. And looking at this, OG, you always have to have your eyes open when it comes to Jenny. And then at the end of the day, Polly has an immediate trade coming their way. So it's teamwork seen for X and Sapphire. This is quite unexpected as well, but Muffin's push out gets a headshot through Sway's head. No more Neon. Bye-bye to her. And the Prowler confirms that there's actually 1 or 2 people behind that wall.
Muffin isn't gonna get any value from the dash. Regardless, trying to still play for time here. They have all the time they need. It's Chloe. All she has in hand is just that, just a frenzy. Let me take it out of the way. Do have Six here out as well. Look at that blind, so beautifully used with Alyssa. And that is the teamwork we wanted to see in terms of utilities. Lax still waiting here. Final girl alive. Where are Alyssa throwing out that haunt just to see if she can get any marks here. Not gonna spot out Lax. And for now, the spike is over there, but look at how many eyes are on there from all different angles. I think she may be good for one. Who knows? Not quite. So Alyssa, really good utility usage this round.
Yeah, I love what we said initially when we were trying to analyze the team composition, right? I mean, this is the dream team for Orangutan, but I mean, teamwork makes the dream work, and that's how X10 Sapphire has been playing this. Muffin should have been already dead because of Kachao's angle, but it was the Prowler from Alyssa and the support from her that allowed her to get the kill. And at this point, OG, I mean, this is a well needed timeout for them. They really have to sit a little bit back, assess the situation, and probably decide what's really best. They have taken control of B a lot of times, but they do fall to the retake of X10 Sapphire. They have had success through main, but necessarily Garden is a locked cage for Jenny and the rest of the members of X10S.
No.
And I think what do you think though that OG needs to do, Tash Bunny, in order to really break the shackles of the defense of X10?
Seeing their team comp is already, I'm kind of honestly just a bit worried for them, just for that initial come onto site. I mean, we do have Sway here, but given how X10 Sapphire's team is when it comes to suppression, when it comes to traps, when it comes to having a fade in particular, it's already hard enough to go through. And in this situation, I really want to say that Orangutan has a problem with coming to site because of their utility usage just getting countered. Perhaps it's better for them to just play for the default for a little while, but for now that's a trade on trade, because we see how they come onto site here is just to put everyone onto B main, and you know it's a chokehold. Regardless, Chloe does have lockdown. For now, we see the fragment come through as well. It's not going to be a situation here because this is going to force them to give all the space they need as Chloe's sprays out. Unfortunately, Whip's not able to get any value out of that, but there is going to be a plant. No problem for them. It's the trade on trade once again. It is a very iffy situation where we have X10 who is very aware how Corel is going to play this blacks from the backside here. Not good for one as she does go very, very low, and we have the Nightfall coming as well. Genie from the backside does try to help teammates. Baby TZ good for one on Chloe, and for now Genie gets the Chow out of the way. And I have to say, this is exactly what I was saying. That utility coming in from X10 Sapphire was just utilized a lot better.
Definitely. I mean, the utility, it was actually the C's from Alyssa that stopped the rest of OG from coming in towards the site. There was a from the shadows given by Lax for them to take control of B, but how else can you defend the spike if the rest of the members are outside?
Yeah.
Right? So even if there was a rolling thunder by Kachao, there isn't really much that she can do because somebody was waiting for her through just by standing there in CT. There could be just a stun. She could have gotten one, but given the position of X10 Sapphire at that point, I think it wasn't necessarily something doable for OG. Even though they had the lockdown in play, even though they had the From the Shadows invested to get them the spike plant down, it's still about defending the spike and letting it detonate and playing for time, which I think OG hasn't captured just yet.
This is an aggressive Sway coming through. She goes burr, but not quite. This Muffin was playing this off angle, catches him off guard. They're going fast, coming in through market. Kachao gonna be throwing out that flash. Eventually, Jump Pips already on the side. Muffin is playing her time here. Good for one. She's good for two. Yes, she is. Gets through, but Jump Pips stops her at the end. Farlissa takes her down as Lax only good for one. But this is a round 8 going to X10, and if we see that again, it was great when it comes to their entry, but we have to just give it to X10. They're just so good with the retakes, so good with making just coming back in the back line. You don't necessarily have to stop teams from getting onto the site, just use everything on that. Sometimes it's a situation where, okay, we get one pick, that's fine, wait for our teammates, play together, and from what I've seen, X10 has really good playing with their utilities. We see Polly get someone with the paranoia. We see someone swing out. We see Alyssa throw out the prowler. We see another player just kind of walking beside it just to get that information to catch members of OG off guard.
Yeah, and it's about maximizing the utilities, and not just theirs, but also their opponents. The reason why Muffin got the 3K because she pushed out of the smoke in timing together with a utility from her teammate, and this is the reason why OG, even though it's smoked out, you have to have your eyes open. You still have to watch out for those smoke criminal plays the Muffin is able to do. Genie, however, uses that suppression guard. At least get Sway out of the way, but Kachao is there for the immediate trade. Paranoia comes in, but Kachao isn't necessarily blind. She gets a double for her entry. Paranoia, though, does come in for them. No use, but now the smoke's out. And this is about the X10S retake that we've been playing. But Hunter's Fury doesn't allow them space just yet. But Baby TZ, she does have the lockdown available, so if she uses this, there could be a potential retake and a win for this round. All they have to do is look out for Baby TZ, who is behind, gets lax out, even gets double against Japeeps. Alyssa gets the second headshot! And as I mentioned to you, these retakes for X10C has been phenomenal for the team.
Wow. Honestly, I really thought that would have gone in OG's favor. Their post-plant defense was pretty good, but you have to give it to X10. Just look at how they're playing, their positioning coming through, and the information gathering is allowing this post-plant. It's not necessarily the cleanest or the ones where you have 2 or 3 players still up there, but so the point is they are able to clean up house, and there's a little, it feels like there's a little bit of disconnect when it comes to Orangutan's communication, I feel, when it comes to their post-plant positioning, when it comes to how they're moving together. Not quite sure what it is, but I do hope that they manage to figure it out, because this is a situation where they don't really know what exactly they're expecting from X10's hit. This is, after all, their first match of the day. I like to call it this the situation where you kind of get to know each other. You do see the lockdown get destroyed. It's gonna be Baby TZ playing from the side here, saving their teammate, but look at that swing on Baby TZ. Oh my god, that was nasty! Oh!
A lot of multi-kills from Baby TZ. The first round, pistol round, I mean, that's something expected of you. But if you're a Sentinel, you wouldn't really, you would really go back. But this one, Baby TZ's timing as well, because they know all eyes were on Polly.
Yes.
Okay, if all eyes were on Polly, then this is my time to shine.
Surprise!
Push out through the smoke, and surprise, surprise, I get 3 out of that. That is value out of the buy. And to be honest, Baby TZ used her lockdown just recently, but now she has 3 orbs in her pocket yet again. And Muffin with Alyssa gets a quadruple, bringing down OG to the ground, and it's just last all alone, and Ginny just finishes things up. 3K for Alyssa,
Last
double
round
for
before the switch.
Ginny as well. So that's a great round for Sapphire.
Oh my god, if we saw what happened earlier, that was just ability usage and teamwork in general. If you saw, you probably could, I could imagine their comms gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna throw out my haunt right now, and you're gonna swing out. Okay, Muffin, you already got a kill. Don't worry, I'm just gonna throw out my Prowler just to kind of buy you time for you to reposition. And honestly, in that situation, and on top of that, it's like a chokehold situation, it's gonna be very, very hard for a lot of members of OG to navigate. And this is why I was really wondering if Orangutan can just not just be fast, just take their time to figure out where exactly each member of X10 is and where their utilities are gonna be. If they can manage to figure out the patterns here, it might give them some space or an idea on how they want to navigate through. And this is what exactly they're doing on this round.
Yeah, I mean, I think XNS is the one really reading the situation. They push forward, and Muffin, the confidence to just peek out through mid, and she even spots out the second. Does a little bit of damage against Sway, but she's still there. She's holding out her ground, and given the flash from Ginny, that is now damage. Even Baby TZ secures 1. And a duel there in mid is not going to be won by Japeeps anymore because there's a second one. It's gonna be the smoke criminal now. She gets it from the shadows through mid, but Muffin is there to secure the ground. Mid control is what you ask. X10S has it for this round.
You have to really give it to them. Not only are they reactive, but they're also very, very proactive. Coming in, if you actually see how they played this, what's really interesting from the team is more of just like how they react to information. Okay, they were here, I'm coming in through mid, and Muffin was like, okay, I'm already playing the very aggressive situation here, but they're also kind of like saying, okay, it's okay for me to push out and catch people off guard. And the problem is Orangutan didn't really figure that out. They're not having someone to watch their backs just yet.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of really watching the backs though, I think X and S has each other's backs. Every time Muffin would be in a very sticky situation going out through mid to try and get control, there's gonna be a flash from Ginny, even though she was so far away. And I think it's also the mastery of the agents that X and S has for each of the rounds. And that's why it's an 11-1 in favor of Sapphire. OG, they have managed to get one round. That was a thrifty round, and it was really about the firepower and taking control and having the timing for Kachao's double K on towards the site. But after that, it's as if that X10S said, okay, no more of that. The thrifty might be heartbreaking, but this scoreline is going to be even more. But we all know how OG is when it comes to the defense. They are quite strong, and they have a better win rate when it comes to the defense. But they have a tough mountain to climb. It's 10 points to get to an even score of 11-11. But if the pistol round goes to X10S, then it's already match point.
Yeah, this is one of those very scary situations here, because when you let a team hit around 10 as you go into a half, it doesn't really give you a lot of wriggle room or a lot of situations where you're allowed to kind of just play around with those mistakes. And I'm not saying that Orangutan is the only team making mistakes here. We do see some mistakes coming through from the side of X10 Sapphire as well. I mean, just now at the boathouse when Genie went down, it was a situation where I don't think you should be running around with your abilities out in hand. And I think it's kind of like the situation where my boyfriend would say, you just think of it this way. You don't run around with scissors. You don't run around with abilities. Okay? So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So in that situation where you see one player from X10S make a mistake, you see another ready to band-aid or remedy the situation. And I'm not yet quite seeing this from Orangutan. Not quite sure if it's because they just made a new roster. Not quite sure if they're not used to each other's momentum and how they play. After all, this is a brand new pickup. Regardless, for them to get onto the upper brackets, it does show that they do have the potential. They do have the chemistry. But what I'm questioning here is how exactly is the comms going on from their team? What exactly are they gonna do if they're already find out the idea of how exactly X10S plays? And I think in this situation, it's whether or not how fast can you figure it out. And I think the problem is Orangutan wasn't able to figure it out fast enough.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's always X10S with the quick wits, right? Whenever there's a woman down in their situation, they make the most out of it and initiate a decision. And I think that's the reason why OG, they weren't really decisive enough during the attacks. They would have an intention to go to B, but because of the abilities that slow them down, they don't necessarily have plan B.
They can't even reposition when you think about it. It's just so oppressive, just the lineup itself. And at first, when I looked at the lineup from X10S, I was concerned. I was saying, for defensive side, they only have maybe, for attack side later, it's gonna be hard because you only have, with a Killjoy on attack, you kind of like have less of that spike in power, but they remedied that with their double initiator comp. And in these situations as well, we have also Polly on the Omen, who is it's not the cute kawaii face Omen that you see on TikTok. It's a very aggressive Omen, but kind of like in the likes of what we see from Envious from SMG, and it's always a joy to see.
Definitely. I mean, even when it comes down to this defense, Chloe actually gets a double. Nobody passes through this lane. Chloe still gets the third and Lax as well with her own. It's just now down to baby TZ. Is it going to be a 4K?
30 seconds
left. Play earlier on. She gets one though. Kachao is down. There's Lax. There's also Sway. That's looking at her. Push. Yeah. Baby TZ won't really realize this. And there's a little bit of a distraction. Although there was an intention to pull out the turret, but Sway was too quick to get the kill, not letting Baby TZ get any more of those kills. And it's very good that they got the pistol round.
I enjoy seeing Killjoy. Just this setups here on lane. It's just so fun to see on Ascent. And this is what I wanted to see. You just immediately saw that reactive play coming in from Orangutan. from this. As soon as Chloe said, "Hey, I see them here," that stat coming through those positioning was just honestly so good. But now we are gonna be seeing X10S on the eco this time as we move forward with Spectres as well as a Marshall from the side of Orangutan. Sway, she's taking the proactive method here. She really wants to take control of the mid side. You do hear some sprays coming out now and then, but we're seeing a very long rotation back to B here as Alyssa is very aware. She says, "Hey, come back here. I think that we are going to be able to get B no problem," as we know that Sway is playing on Catwalk. For now, Muffin, just take your time here. You are going to be seeing that shot dart come through as well. Immediately going to take out the turret. And Muffin, half HP left as Sway runs away with Ginny's life with the Marshall. And we know how painful that can be. Muffin already in the boathouse there. Sprays coming in from Japips. You're going to see the mark come through as well as Chloe. Ooh, nasty. As she gets 2, but they're going to be seeing a trade here. And they only lost Chloe in that situation.
I mean, there was just one. They really wanted to get Chloe out of the way so that they can do the spike plant, but little did they know that there's also one there in Boathouse. I actually love the intention to prioritize the damage against X10S. Because at this point that they were pushing out, a lot of them were already low. So with all of these Spectres, you just really hope to spray and pray and get the kills. And I love the intuition there of Chloe. Instead of focusing her eyes against Polly, who was running through lane, she knew that there was going to be a push out.
That's a good reposition.
At the very left.
It was a very good reposition. It is very similar to what we saw earlier from Baby TZ, and for now Sway, this is a very aggressive play that she wants. We usually see this kind of plays from SMG, so this is a very nice treat, I have to say, coming in, or a nice change coming in from Orangutan. For now, Ginny, she's just waiting for that push, but it's not going to be happening for now. But you are seeing that aggressive play come through. It's going to be a trade on trade as Japips does take Baby TZ out of the way. And I love how she does that as Chloe with the judge in your face, she says. She's for 3, not quite, as Polly does take her out here. She does have rifles this time. Polly gonna be repositioning herself. I have to say, even with those rifles, we're not seeing the payout that X10S really wanted, as Ginny just kind of biding her time, playing the long game here, trying to find those picks that she wants, and Lax just barely brushes shoulders with Ginny. For now, we are going to be hearing the plant as Ginny positions herself here. She might find the Chow on the way, not quite, as she whiffs that, unfortunately. So the 1-on-3. Lax, she knows where she is. Oh my god, she barely noticed her, but thankfully Ka-Chow was there to save the day.
It's funny you mentioned that, right? Like, if you're holding your abilities, then it's kind of like bruising yourself or hitting yourself with your own blade. And at that point, that's what happened to OG. It's just that it's good. When it comes to the timing, Ka-Chow is also there to save the day. You mentioned not enough return of investment for all of the rifles, because what? Chloe just bought up this judge.
Nasty.
And still that was just 2 nasty kills. Imagine getting killed by a judge up front. And that's gonna be quite irritating. At least OG, for the first 3 rounds, they're already getting on a roll here. They're stopping X10S from getting that momentum and getting match point. And now X10S, they're on a save, but we know how powerful they can be with these guns, right? Yeah. But it's up to OG to define who really has the better firepower here. Who has better utilities and better abilities for this round.
The fast take, actually, very different from earlier, but for now, Chloe does get 2. Let's Muffin and Ginny out of the way, make that 3, actually 4! Not enough to get 5, but that's enough. Flawless round. One of the fastest rounds we've seen. I'm not too sure if it beat the fastest round earlier from the side of X10. We're gonna have to see later. Regardless, though, very clean, and that's the power coming in from having a Killjoy as anchor.
Yeah, I mean, the bullets just run out, and that's the reason why she wasn't able to get the ace. But good thing about this, Lax was there as well. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna steal the ace, but at least you didn't die in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was an opportunity for her to get killed, right? Because she lost the bullets. But the teamwork now is seen for OG. And XNS, they're on a timeout. they're really discussing amongst themselves, why can't we break the defense of OG? It's basically Chloe knowing where they're gonna push out, because every time there's intention to go to site B, Chloe's gonna be there. If there's gonna be now a rotation towards A, Chloe's gonna be there.
This is like an opposite.
And Chloe's the gate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like how Chloe was able to change it up. Like for baby TZ just now, we usually see her. What the change was happening on her anchor was that you have one more on site with her in the boathouse to catch people off guard. But as for Chloe, she repositioned herself to play on the other side with a different gun. So this kind of like changes can catch people off guard, and this is how they kind of break the idea of patterns when it comes to defense. Now, what I was trying to say earlier was that over on VCT APAC Stage 2, we saw a very different situation where everyone thrives on attack and just seem to fail on defense. But for this side though, defense will be where every team will thrive. But wait, that's very fast! Meet you in your own spawn, 2 out of the way. Loving this aggression, but look at where Sabrosa is as Kachao does find baby TZ. Did not realize that Ginny was playing in that corner.
You want a taste of your own medicine? XNS was very aggressive during the defense. But now OG is applying the same pressure that they were doing. And even Ginny gets a little bit of a splinter there. She hit the head, but still there was a big wall against her. So that's why there's just
One
that.
enemy remaining.
Chloe sees Polly, but Kachao is there with the operator, and they get each one kill. And OG, they're very strong on this defense. As I mentioned to you, they have a higher win rate when it comes to the depth side of things. And Sway just pushing out just brings back the confidence for the rest of the team members as well. For Kachao, for Japeeps, and for Chloe to really stand their ground. Whether it's going to be A main or through Garden, I have this covered. This time is going to be different though. XNS, I don't know if they want to play the default strat or they all want to go through B as fast as they can. They haven't really gotten a hold of mid just yet. Maybe this is the time to do so.
I know that the operator is on B main. Immediately, you're gonna see that retreat come through. See Alyssa. Ooh, I don't know if I would have like peeked that, but luckily she had to move out of the way for the owl drone. Regardless, you are gonna be seeing that they already have full control of mid here, at least for the side of market. You can see that Alyssa is just trying to play that distraction on B main. For now, they don't know that there's at least 2 people on market because all eyes are on CT, are on B main. They could actually just go through if they want to, as Sway still holding this angle. But the song playing in her head right now is Operator, the line is dead. But Muffin gonna be moving forward 2 ramps here. Ooh, this is a very long rotation coming in from X10, but they like it this way. And for now, immediately gonna take out that turret as Chloe playing this very, very sneaky angle. He gets spray onto 1, is she for 2? Not quite, as like that straight out here, like that 2, like that 3, not quite up to that 4 here as Ginny, the last person standing, gonna throw a flash of 1-on-3 situation. Doesn't really matter when you have Sway.
She just held that angle. Even though she was flashed out by that flash drive, nothing will ever matter because I have a great gun to use. Even if I'm blinded, just 1 shot to the body and you're dead. But I really love the hold here of OG. The amount of information Kachao gave to the rest of the members was vital for them to know where they were coming from. They were coming through heaven. That's why Lax provided a smoke. And even in that situation, Chloe was blinded. She knew that there will be a blind from Ginny. That's why a response, again, from these players gets them these rounds. And the response of Sway yet again with the operator. Are you going to push forward with that? Yes, sir. Gets another kill. Actually, it's Kachao to get the double. Trades come in. Lax, make sure that Polly is out. And it's left now to Eliza. The spike is compromised. She even knows where Lax is in that situation. Uses the Prowler to figure out if she is still there. But Chloe gets the kill anyway as she pushed out the smoke. OG, they're having the time of their lives. Now they have 7 rounds on a roll here in terms of the win.
See, I was really hoping to see that play with their utilities that we saw on the defense side from the side of X10S. This is my question here. You have Alyssa, who has all of these utilities coming through, like your Prowler as well as Seas, and you are very aware that that Sway will be playing the operator from B main. Alyssa's utility, if used properly, can be great for not only space but getting those picks. And for now, Ginny will be leading the team here as they move on to B main. And for Sway, I like the fact that she repositioned herself. She doesn't want to play the same angle all the time. There is a flash coming through as well as that fragment just to buy some space. Will buy some time for them to get onto the site. Lucy some sprays through the smoke as Muffin gonna be playing here just to find some picks and look at the post-plant defenses coming through here. Lucy Alyssa playing on set B main. Holly does get picked off by Sway, and look at that. Sway gonna get not quite one more as Muffin tags out Sway instead with the knives. There is the Rolling Thunder as well. Flash comes through to Alyssa. Chloe from the side here. She cares for nothing. The Chow as well as Japips get one each. It's gonna be Baby TZ playing from the side to run through. Don't know if it was a good idea to be running like that, but easily taken down. And for now, it's going to be Team Ace 11-9 OG. While they struggled on defense, attack seems to be where... Sorry, defense seems to be where they shine.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of really shining, even if Muffin gets that kill against Sway, still, the rest of the members of OGT, they don't back down. Chloe just pushing forward together with the rest of her teammates. Confidence is shining. They're shining on this map. And probably, even though they got an 11-1 in the first half, they're probably smiling. And they're really laughing their hearts out because now 8 straight rounds in their favor leaves X10S really guessing how else can we break OGT's defense. Because OGT, they've tried aggression. They've tried using this operator to peek out and get these first kills. And then X10S, they don't really have the best solution for this.
Honestly, it's just the great positioning from Chloe as well. She likes to play, just wait, buy for time, just come and catch people off guard. And I feel like that's what Baby TZ as well as Chloe's fortes are at this point. For now, Kachao just waiting and just biting for time as Sway wants to push forward, wants to see who exactly is on B main, and now they know that they're there. They know that coming in from B main. And for now, here comes Nightfall as well as Jeff Peeps will be marked and decayed. And for now, you can also see that there the nanos from board will also buy some time before they can push onto site. Kachao does have that aftershock come through as well, just to kind of flush them out of those corners. But look at how they're playing. They're not allowing their hits to be popped at all. But for now, we are going to be hearing as well the swap grenades being popped from Baby TZ. And for now, Muffin is good for one. Sway also gets Polly, Chloe, and Ginny. And for now, look at the defenders. They're stuck because of the lockdown here. Baby TZ does get one in return. 1 versus 2. If she's able, I think she can win this. But they're not giving her a chance here. Paranoia does come out. Swings out right now, Baby TZ. 3 in the pocket. There is a jump peak coming through here as Chloe 3 bullets. She does get it halfway for now, and Baby TZ just playing for time. All she just has to do is jiggle. Don't fold! Does fold though, as it's 4K in the pocket.
A beautiful clutch there by Baby TZ. She was the only one not detained by the lockdown, while the rest of the members were just there standing their ground because they were just detained. They wanted to escape, but every time they wanted to, they were getting killed by OGT. But at that point, Baby TZ knew she had a plan. Okay, I'm just gonna stay here in this corner, and when it's my time to get the kills, I will convert. And the way that she isolated the duels, even though she got paranoid, that was just quick-witted game sense for her. And Baby TZ, she's not one that you should just be laxing on. Baby TZ is such a great player, even on attack, and that gives them the first round on the offense.
Honestly, I'm actually quite surprised the Orangutan was able to take so many rounds in a row. It just really shows in terms of defense, they really know what they're doing. Looks like default will be the way to go as they try to get as much information as possible. If you look at in terms of ultimates, no one has any. And it's going to be a situation where you have to rely on teamwork, on gunplay, as well as utility. And I'm really hoping for this change in pace, at least on how they use the utility from Alyssa, because we're not really seeing them actually swing out with the utilities like we saw them on defense. For now, Muffin dash is expended. She has a few more seconds as she does dash through there, avoids the concuss, avoids that two concusses actually are it stuns. Pips does get one baby cheesy for now, but Alyssa gonna be spraying out here, but Lax will be the one to take her down first. But now Sway does find Muffin in return. It's only one person to worry about. That's Polly. Polly's only good for one, unfortunately. As we go 12-10, OG wants to bring it to an overtime. Or perhaps get the 13th point first. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely see here the change of pace that OG has been giving, because they probably noticed that X10S, they've been so well in terms of these pushes, the coordinated ones. They push out first with the smokes in place, and then Muffin's gonna dash in towards the site. But OG, they already have a hold on how X10S would push out. And this timeout is very, very essential for both of the teams. Although this was called by OG, XNS, they have to really form this plan of attack. As you mentioned, it's going to be 1 point for them to get the win, or OG fighting for their life and fighting for overtime. And at this point, I guess even though XNS has the lower bye, they're just really equipped with these sheriffs. And OG, they want to make the most out of this. They want to get a 12-11 and then probably get the last round, because this is the reason why they chose the map. They're so strong on the defense, but they also have to show that XNS, they need to also get the solution out of X10S's plays.
We've seen Orangutan thrive on Thrifty. Let's see if X10 will be able to do the same. In a lot of situations as well, I noticed that some teams, they have a problem with closing games, and it seems like this might be X10S's problem here. Not quite able to, as they're not able to find that momentum. Regardless, the Pips just waiting for some information.
Revealing area.
Gonna be using that recon for now. Doesn't quite get anything just yet, but where Sway is, she pushes out too far. She might be caught off guard, and now she's not able to play in a situation in a position where she's safe. So smoking up Catwalk is a good play coming in from X10S, just so that they don't get caught off guard. For now, the smoke has been expended. This is why you're kind of like wondering, did I just take too long to go forward here? Regardless, we are seeing a change of pace coming through as 1 minute mark hits, and Muffin 54 HP, taking so much damage just to get onto the site. Regardless, Sway with the operator. Again, getting Muffin, finds her at the boathouse as Chloe is suppressed, not able to use her bots, but jump in with 3! Kachao gets one more as well, and 12-11, I smell an overtime.
I mean, the overtime is so possible given OG's performance in the last couple of rounds. Yes, OG might have given away one round to X10S, but how they are forming themselves when it comes to the holds plus the retakes, it seems as if they're they're too strong on this map. XNS, now that they have the bias, although Baby TZ and Ginny only have like half armor equipped on themselves, they have to pick up the pace. They're the ones on attack, but OG seems to be the one rushing in and getting all of the kills, even though they're on def.
Lax gonna get the sprays onto Muffin, very aware, but Lax gets 2. Alyssa eventually does find Lax in the end. Alyssa playing this very corner. Moving through, they do hear some footsteps on the other side. Chloe does get 1, Sway gets 1 as well. There's only Polly in return, good for 1. Moves away, 30 HP left. Not a lot of HP to work with, and she's playing at the very, very edge of the aftershock. For now, they don't know she's there. 7 bullets, all she has here. And Sway as well has to reposition. 1 bullet doesn't really matter for her. She gets it in the end. And it's 12-12. Here comes the overtime.
Switching sides.
I mean, the overtime, you said you smell it. Now we've tasted it, and this is just game number 1. OG wants to play this close, and intentionally, they just really wanted this. I mean, let's play for overtime. Even though there was an 11-1 score, we can overpower them with Sway's operator. with Kachao's very unusual and unpredictable plays, with Chloe's mere strategy to take a hold of the site even without the lockdown.
300
She
IQ
is the
Chloe.
lockdown.
Yeah, 300 IQ Chloe. Love her repositioning. Love how proactive she is in just catching people off guard. Honestly, such a great pickup from Orangutan from her. But I have to say, for the side of Sway as well, she's very unpredictable even with the op, and I'm liking that. You can smoke up her area. She's like, okay, no problem. Let's play another different angle. And she still gets you at the end of the day. And in a lot of situations as well, you'll be just passing in front of her. When you think of an op, you think of a very, very long range shot, but she's able to get those close ones as well. She's just really quick on it. She's just like, snap, snap, here you go. Here's a kill for you in my pocket. Now, from the side of X10, they're great on defense as well. I love how Baby TZ plays with her utils. I love how the whole team plays with each other when it comes to how they work in terms of teamwork. That's why they're so great on defense. So it's Orangutan who are players that are just so individually great, versus X10 Sapphire, who is just as a team is just so great in terms of how they're using utilities. So it's two very different play styles from the team, which work great on defense. And on offense, both teams don't seem to clinch it. But my question for the side of X10 is, you have two initiators. You have the KO as well as the Fade. I think personally, if I were X10S, I would rather be playing faster when I have all those utilities, because you have it as suppress, which means that you're not gonna be running against a Killjoy whose bots are just gonna have to buy so much time.
And the buying of time doesn't really go Baby TZ's way, but at least Alyssa gets one. Now it's a 2v2, and Sway has already been here on site, but they dropped the spike. They're intending to plant it just now, but Chapips is gonna be waiting. I think she heard the footsteps.
Well, she definitely
just running out, and that's why she gets the kill. And just in time, the recon bolt is destroyed, so they have to wait for Jenny. Jenny is gonna be spotted out, and that's why Japip's imperfect timing gets a kill. And this is surprising. We both know
Switching
that both
sides.
of these teams are very strong on the
Match
defense,
point.
but OG gets the first point on attack.
That how do I say this? That timeout just now that they had worked wonders for them. That fast sort of situation that comes through from them just worked out so miraculously well. And I think it's just because that they had the information of who might be on site. And when we look at X10, they're not necessarily a team that really changes up the way they play on defense, on attack. They're very, at this point, Orangutan has probably read them like a book. And meanwhile, on defense, here's Sway with the famous op, and she doesn't even care if she gives away her position of the op, because she knows there's one person stuck behind that building. And for, oh my god, through the smoke! Are you serious right now? She got that timing right. But now she immediately repositions as Alyssa taking a very, very long rotation, going toward A site here.
Go, go, go.
As Sway saw no one at mid, gonna be relaying that information to the teammates as Kachao is gonna be preparing the welcome mat for the rest of the team. Fragment comes through, close contact doesn't really matter. She actually tanked that fragment and she got so much value out of it. Orangutan doing so great on Ascent, and they take map 1.
That's the reason why Orangutan, they play with the momentum and they play with fire against XNC. And even if they do, they're firebenders at this point. OGT, they get the first map, even against a score of 11-1. That was just a jaw-dropping result for map number 1. And I guess that's the reason why OG, you never have to be complacent against them. I mean, at least in the first half, you would say, okay, this is gonna be easy. But no, nothing is ever easy when OGT is in your way.
They're so unpredictable, but in a good way. They're so loose, they're not rigid, and this is the reason why I've been following them for so long. You see that hunger come through, the want to win, and they're willing to do anything for it. And I have to say, the addition of the 2 new players is just doing so well from what they want. Kachao tanking that fragment, good for 2. Hello, my jaw was on the floor for a good 5 minutes, sir. What was that?
mean, it's not just Kachao, but it's also the place of the rest of the members. Kachao might have been the MVP, but if it weren't for the rest of her teammates, she wouldn't really be up there. It's also about the exchanges of the rifles. Kachao, okay, always holding the Vandal, but if Sway wants to push out and be aggressive, they just definitely exchange the weapons and give Kachao the ability to hold down the sites, even as a breach. And then she just really supports her team members. And I guess it's not just about the kills that she was able to do, but the assists as well. Her ACS is at 246 against BBTZ's Clutchmeister 205 ACS. And for the rest of the members here, they're very happy and healthy when it comes to the KDA. It's equally as good because of the scoreline, but OGT, they just came out on top. They said, attack, we're not very strong at it. That's why let's call for a timeout. Let's discuss our plan of attack. And their plan of attack really worked out.
I mean, when you look in terms of numbers, you can see objective as well as headshot side, it's gonna be for X10S. But for OG, damage and frag wins is more them. And I have to say, I agree from the numbers on what we saw. It's very, very reflected on how they played. They're a very aggressive team. They want to get those kills. And for the side of X10S, I only saw them able to get the spike planted once. That's why in terms of how they work, it just works in terms of how they play this aggressive sort of plays. And I think that's also the reason why I'm always so surprised. But let's look at Kachao first before I go into what I want to talk about earlier, where she will be the MVP for this game we saw earlier. And if you see 22 kills in her pocket with 246 ACS, and how she plays, it's more team-based rather than a very aggressive dueling breach that we always talk about. And this really, really enables her team, because it not only it enables Sway, it enables Chloe to just catch people off guard, and it also enables her teammate as well. But when you look at the side of X10, it's a very similar sort of playstyle. But if you remember again that individually, Orangutan's players are good on their own. So when you are a team that's able to play very separated on defense, you have one person able to anchor site, one person able to just catch them off guard. This is where it comes like, okay, we know how to play with a team, but what if we separate it? What if you're not able to get into position? And I feel like Orangutan really, really took advantage of that when it comes to the positioning of X10S.
Definitely, and I would really have to add up to what you said about Kachao. Her damage per round is about 2 kills per round. So that just really is about the conversion of the kills, and not just conversion of the frags, but also when it comes to the assistance that she offers to Sway. There might have been a couple of mistakes. You mentioned that she flashed some of her teammates, but how she adapts to the situation and she learns from her mistakes is the reason why she is the MVP. And that is just evident for OGT. They never back down. If it's not a win, if you don't see a 13 scoreline, it's never going to be over. And that's why we got to overtime. And that's why we'll be back for another round, map number 2 for Game Changers Open Overtime.
We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, 'cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now.
welcome back to the Valorant Game Changers APAC series, and this is stage 2 open overtime. I'm Tash Buddy alongside Donut, and we're your true duo casters for today. We just saw map 1 coming in hot, the closest match we've seen ever. And I have to say, despite the close match, it was a very, very interesting storyline for Orangutan.
Definitely starting off the first half with 11-1. If you're down 1, you'll get demotivated, right? But no, they didn't let anything phase them. They just really wanted to win all of the rounds on defense. Probably give
had a plan
to Xeaora, but nope, we'll take it back anyway. We'll play for overtime in Ascent, and we saw their Ascent from 1 to 14, and that's why they won the first map. But the second map is Breeze, and this is Xeaora's pick.
Honestly, when you think about it, it was all according to plan for X10. For OG that map. They were just sitting there like, 11, we'll take it. We'll take it. It's all calculated, you know. But now coming back to Breeze, there's a reason why this map is a pick for X10. So if you see how X10 always plays, their team thrives when it comes to aiming for aiming. They're really, really good with their gunplay. I think that's what X10 is mainly known for. Now, in that situation, Breeze, there's no other map that really, really gives a lot of these advantages for players who play that way further than that. So I think that's the reason why that's their favorite map. Now, when you come back to Orangutan though, their utility usage may just give them the upper hand when it comes to that map in general. Okay, so when you have a team that is so good at sharpshooting and you block their vision, what happens then?
Definitely, and it's about the creativity. I think Breeze is a map that people pick because of the it's going to be a canvas basically of your creativity when it comes to the strategies, because there are a lot of entry points. Mid is too wide and too big for you to really create the flanks and even create the strategies. And when it comes down to the picks, if Ginny is gonna pick the KO, then it's gonna be probably GG for the team of OGT, only because of the possibilities that she can do with the agent. We saw that earlier in the map of Ascent. It's just that they didn't really make the cut in terms of really winning it out from 11 to 12 and even match point. They just slowed down because of the utility usage of OGT. But now is their time to shine. They have more experience in this map. Before, OGT would usually ban this. They would ban Fracture, they would ban Breeze. But them allowing this to be chosen means that they have a game plan. They have a plan in mind, similar to how they did Ascent earlier on.
Okay, so when you think about Breeze, it's all about taking space. It's a very big map. And even if you took space, you don't necessarily can't clear it because of the sheer size. So this is where you kind of just get really creative with how you want to get onto site. So in my brain, I have kind of like jigsaw puzzle this, explain like I'm 5 sort of situation here, where if say that you want to take A, the greatest way to play is either you take double doors, and in a lot of great case scenario, if you have full control of halls, A is basically your oyster. Now coming into B, how do you exactly take that? Have full control of the elbow, have control of tunnel, and you basically have made it. Because when you want to control them from coming in from arches, it's not really a tall order, because if you look at the site, there's so many angles to clear compared to A site. So if these teams have this sort of like general idea in mind, they can just pretty much go into the game kind of like thinking, okay, how exactly can we take these spaces? What can we do to give these spaces to our favor? And in a lot of situations here, if Sway were to be playing Neon, I think it would work so well for this map in particular. We've seen Paper X particularly a Forsaken run on Neon on this map. It's great for flanks, it's great for covering a lot of space, as well as running to the other side as fast as you can, giving that help to your teammates. So it's also great if you want to play those ring around or rosy situations as well, because you're able to go super fast and catch them off guard. So if Sway is able to master that, I think it will go in their favor. Now, from the side of X10, well, they need to figure out how exactly to go around these utils and get those picks, because after all, you want to play in your how do I say, not in your you want to play in your strengths, right? So in this situation here, Baby TZ on the Cypher, what is your opinion?
Well, you mentioned to play to your strengths, and Baby TZ actually prefers to use the Cypher as compared to the Killjoy or
Oh
the
wow!
Chamber. So this is, if you're really pulling up the cards, this is their card, and Ginny on the Sky is actually, this is where the creativity comes in, because you can use this to aggress. You can use this more for the defense, or even use it for yourself if you want to be selfish and get the frags, right?
Oh yeah.
But Ginny in this situation chose the Sky over the KO, probably because of the amount of teamwork that they can use. I mean, the mix and matching of the utilities and abilities can make it better for them for the retakes. And as compared to OGT, you mentioned their choice, which is the Neon, the Chamber, the Sova. These are picks that usually work out well for them.
Chamber is so good for this map, and I am surprised that X10 did not choose that, given the fact that they love playing these sort of like high-powered, high-firepower agents when it comes to gunfights. And honestly, if Lax is just put in those situations, maybe at Nest, maybe on top of a pyramid, that's so much room that she's able to control. Regardless, we're going to go into the first round already, and we're seeing here X10S playing the aggressive game as Sway, not able to get those tags, but she does spot out one at least. And you already see the fast lane come through. Alyssa throwing out that recon, trying to figure it out. And for now, she does get some value from the recon, does spot out too, but they know that she's there. Oh geez, Sway running through fragments, point left and right, and she does get her in the end as Baby TZ finds her pips and Lax. That's by Ginny in the end, and for now, Muffin will be the next victim.
And it's going to be Polly and Baby TZ, both of the anchors of the site of A, to retake this. And at this point, it's going to be OGT's higher ground, because Chloe, she's just waiting for somebody to walk in, and that's going to be Baby TZ down. It's all just down to Polly for the retake. She does guess that Juan's behind that pillar, but she doesn't really know where else the Viper is. She's gonna get a kill, a first one. Spots out Sway. There's a possibility for this, but she's currently suppressed, so she can't use any of her abilities. So she's gonna do the ghost, but apparently it's gonna be attack to win. OGT get their first round because of their post-plant positions.
It was a great post plant and a great situation for them when it comes to taking the site as well. Look at how many corners they have covered, and Chloe playing this long angle, just being the anti-lurk, is just so good, because when you have a Cypher on the team, you are going to be expecting a lurk, and that's a great read from her. Regardless though, it was a closer round than I expected, so X10S probably has somewhat of an idea on how to play the defense. That is flash as well. Come through, Sway, good for two! Regardless, just waited out that flash. Does not realize there's one on the side there. Alyssa does get one, but does go down to Jump Pips in the end. And now Jump Pips taking up so much space. Gonna clear out the backside here. That will be the Chow. And Black is very aware of the alert coming in from Baby TZ. Again, her plan has been foiled as Polly does get caught out in the mid side.
It's great positioning for the team of OGT, giving Lax all of the creativity for the lurk. She can choose to push forward or just to stay and catch all of the rotations, and that's what they did. Even Sway had her spider sense tingling, and she assumed the push, and that's why she was good for two. And even the follow-through when it comes to taking the site was very beautifully done. The combo between the Neon and the Sova worked out well for OGT in terms of the push. But at least for X and S, they have the chance now to really convert this round, because at this point, they have all of the credits that they need to buy up. Everybody else is going to buy the Vandals because, as you mentioned, the firepower, their aim is very good when it comes to this map. And that's why they prefer these one shot to the head plays, at least on the defense. But for OG, if they're able to outwit X and S yet again, even on attack, then probably this is something that's worthy of either a thrifty or a bonus round for OG.
You did see those pings come through from the side of OG. They want that control onto halls, And in a lot of situations, I think me and Trix were talking about this, how I'm not a big fan of Cypher on this particular map. Just because that it feels like when you have other agents that can hold on to areas, just like, say, a chamber, per se, it will give a lot more value. So if, say, we have a more aggressive sort of Cypher, where you are putting your cams in very, very aggressive angles to just catch them off guard, that would be great. Because for me personally, where the position of those trip is at the very back of halls, I don't think it can give value, because all it can do is kind of stop those kind of deep sort of pushes onto the backside toward archers. But I would rather the trip being in the middle so they don't have access to doors. Regardless, looks like we are going to be seeing 1, 2, 3 people come in through halls. Sway is very, very aware that there might be someone here. They already have access to doors. There is the cage there, but unfortunately it does show the bottom side there. Probably good for 1, not good for 2 regardless, but Japips does get 1. Sway as well as Kachao get 1 each. Sway already have her overdrive online, rushing out here through mid side. Takes a little bit of damage here as Muffin takes her down. Kachao playing a very dangerous corner here. Are they going to check your corners? Yes, they do, but it doesn't really matter what Kachao is good for 3.
She was so quick, and given that adjustment as well, that was Kachao for her. Her repositioning to the door just gives X10S like asking where else could they be, because they already took down Sway, right? But Kachao moving forward was really unexpected, and as you mentioned, these unexpected plays are what wins you rounds here in Greece. And after that, they've already bought up the Vandals. They managed to pick up some of the guns, and XNS, they only have sheriffs to work with. And I think what you mentioned was quite correct when it comes down to using all of those tripwires, because that just allowed OG to come in the site. Like, they just welcomed them with open arms.
Yeah, that cage as well was there to stop them, but we not see the play, or at least the shootout from the Cypher. There's no follow-up as Sway gets 1. Ginny gets Sway out of the way. Ginny gonna be repositioning herself. Really love how Sway is just waiting for that util, and to her, util is information. It's not something that I give space for. And for now, Lax playing the very, very cheeky corner here as Baby TZ. I don't think she spotted her out. Baby TZ might just get shot in the back here. Yes, she does, as Lax, she has not moved for that angle at all. And Kachao does find Ginny onto tunnels. They're gonna get a very, very easy plant here. They only have to worry about 2 more members. We do see Alyssa as well as the other member on the other side here. 1 area of archers already smoked out. They can't push more because of the decay. For now, Chloe, just throwing that snake bite. Sorry, go ahead.
1 enemy
Yeah,
standing.
I mean, what they don't know is Polly has actually managed to sneak up on them. That's why she gets 1 kill. But Kachao is going to be there for the instant trade. That was such a good... I just wanted to mention that Polly's positioning and her pushing out the smoke and managing to be a snake in that situation to get the kills. But yeah, I mean, that was just unfortunate for X and S, because number 1, Baby TZ didn't really catch Lax. And at this point, Kachao with the entry together with Japips just makes everything seem so good. They managed to get the spike down, and they're at 4-0. This is unexpected from X and S.
This is their map pick. And honestly, when I was talking to Trix during VCT APAC, what you want to see from a Cypher is not only aggressive traps, but to play with the utils. You get so much value from it. Kachao, she's not scared of that at all. Catching Polly. Are you kidding me? What? This is my world? No, no, no. This is our world and you're living in it. Kachao gonna be brought back online from Chloe. They're gonna give back some space here as Japips does take a little bit of chip damage, but it doesn't really matter. Lax here, she has so much space, full control of halls. Gonna just easily spot out that tripwire. Flash does come out, not gonna get some value. Snake bite as well, as we are gonna see Chloe playing from the backside there. Baby TZ just clearing that out. They know one is there. Muffin good for 1. That'll be 2 Japips as Lax trying to see if they corner the backside. Genie, very aggressive angle, and Muffin does find back Kachao and OG Sway get 2 each. And for now, Kachao 3k in the pocket as Chloe closes it down. Very clean win.
A great recovery. Actually, Kachao fell down, but response for Neon to use that fast lane to give them cover and plant down the spike and revive Kachao, because Kachao is of high value. She might have gotten the first kill, but without the revive, she wouldn't get the second and the third. And that's why I think the teamwork is seen ever so better here in the map of Breeze. We mentioned that it's all about the creativity, and with this pick for OG, they picked attack first. Now they have all of their creativity in terms of the canvas. They're just painting colors all over X10S and leaving them no escape when it comes down to the post plant.
It is still an attack-oriented map, so that is one though. The Muffin gets two. Beautifully
down,
done.
mid.
That's so much space. They do know they got the read here. As for now, they have the spike. We are gonna be seeing that Trailblazer as well catch one out. Recon comes out here as Jump Pips and Chloe gonna get that beautiful crossfire. Has each other's backs. Regardless, we are gonna see that Cypher upload come through as well as Jump Pips gonna try and get that pick. But he does get half HP at least, or at least 1/3 HP onto Ginny. Polly here, playing through mid, does hear something, but she and the other members want to push through. This is a very aggressive sort of choke. They are gonna break that Cypher camera. They did eventually get that spike as they're gonna reposition. And here comes the jellyfish. Jesus, Polly gets 1, 2. Can we be one more? No, we're already out of people. But that was crunchy.
That was a great thrifty round from X10S. You mentioned this is attack-sided, right? But maybe it's all about the aggression of Muffin to just push through together with Ginny to take control of the map. Great recover for OGT to get the 2 kills to equalize the situation, but Polly with the flank just made everything possible for XNS to get the thrifty. And the first round on the board for them, at least, I'm not really sure if this is gonna snowball, but OGT, they must learn from their mistakes, because if they don't answer to the aggression that X10S is capable of, then they're probably gonna lose a couple of rounds after that thrifty loss.
I have to say, it took them maybe around 7 rounds to 6 rounds to kind of figure it out, the aggression play coming in from Orangutan, and I like how they were punished for it. So now we're seeing a more reserved play from Orangutan, and they're just kind of taking their time as Sway gonna be making their way from double doors. Fast lane comes through, spray and pray from Polly, snake bite as well. And look at that, they are respecting X10 enough to give that space, and while they figure out how they wanted to play this, but X10 this time around, they're not gonna overextend this time, as we see Muffin just holding angles. And from the side of Halls, no one is actually taking care of it. So if they want to go Halls, they're able to if they want to. The flash does come out. They do have some information here. Let's see who gets that first contact. Is going to be Ginny. Immediately through to the head, actually, when you think about it. Japips, all the information she needs just to give that space.
30 seconds
Throws out that flash coming through, immediately moves forward. They don't care about that. Oh my god, Kachao! Ow! Kachao gets two, gonna try it out with
Down,
Ginny
B.
as Lax eats all of that damage. 36 HP left, but here also comes the Viper's Pit.
That was such a great entry kill. Intuition that the
10
Cypher is
seconds
going to be
left.
playing that off angle through the that toxin screen, and now Lax has even managed to rendezvous away, secure more space away from X10S. But Ginny, given this, she's already got
enemy
the
remaining.
kill, but she's doing everything that she can to take this round away. But Lax from behind, I mentioned to you, she takes space with just the rendezvous, and she gets the 6th round for OGT.
It was a nice crossfire, I have to say. Having each other's backs and having so many angles covered, that's exactly teamwork. The Kachao this time around though, oh my god! So very scary. Chloe did try to stay alive. Perhaps her aggression kind of like killed that though, but it was good for one. Gave enough space for the team to do something about that. And now X10S is in a very, very sketchy position here, and timeout is going to be called out here. So I do like that X10S was actually responsive enough this time around to have those changes in terms of how they play, the aggression coming through from Muffin. But I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't see that change after the blades came out, and I'm just really worried. Like, is that round a win? The win condition for X10 is Muffin on the blades, because that's not a very reasonable win condition for them.
Yeah, I mean, for that last one, the win condition was tipping over slightly to Ginny because she got the 4K, right? She waited for the rest of the teammates before she planted the retake and started it. But as you mentioned, I think the conversion and even the credits for X10S isn't so good. They're leaving Alyssa on a pistol. And while the rest of the members, they're just gonna buy up. Probably this is the outcome
want to
of their
play?
overtime.
Let's play.
They wanna still keep the advantage in their favor. And probably if it's not gonna be the Bladestorm, it's gonna be Muffin pushing out with a Vandal and aggress and catch OGT off guard. But OGT, they're not backing down. They sense
this is aggressive.
danger. And that's why Sway is just gonna stay here in cover ground through elbow, and the rest of the members just really looking at the scenery, finding other opportunities within the map.
Muffin, playing this angle, just waiting. And I think when it comes to default, I'm really liking how OG plays default. Not only do they pass the information quickly, they're quick to react to it. As you are going to be seeing that immediate explosive sort of play come through from the VCT. Just has to spray and wait. For now, that area is going to be cleared thanks to the fragment. Lax does get one, so the Alyssa Pips also finds Baby TZ in the end. That's all the information they need before they clear the back of site. And that was really quick in terms of how they react to all that information.
Yep, and Chloe from behind just catches Muffin. Muffin was out for the hunt to get the kills, but at this point, they have all the angles covered. OGT, they're watching each and everyone ever so closely.
Last player
A
standing.
miss from Lax, but that doesn't mean they're gonna miss out on the second. Oh, gee, they get the 7th round on the board against X10S's map pick.
Oh my god, I am loving. This is what I was talking about in terms of not only team play but individually playing. So individual play, I feel, is very important for bigger maps because you don't necessarily, or you can't necessarily play with your teammates when you have to cover so much space. And we saw just now, as soon as they got the information that no one was on A main, we saw Chloe push out, we saw Lax push out, we saw them immediately take mid, and that is how important it is to react to the information. And the information they got is reacted to very fast. And look at this, immediately we see them push through from the side of B, as well as the rotation coming in from X10S. But the thing is, they have full control of halls. No one is stopping them. It doesn't really matter, as Chloe does find Baby TZ and Japips does find Polly as well. Lax watching the backside here, wants to catch people mid-rotation. It's gonna be Jenny falling down here very clean. Only one person to deal with, and it's gonna be Muffin. All she has in hand is a Sheriff. Is she good for one? Yes, she is. Can she make it two? Just moving forward here. Skachao is so low. Unfortunately, whiffs that. We are going to see the Conquest come through as well, as Sway finally shuts it down.
That was such a great round for OG. Even though, of course, X and S had Sheriffs in hand, they still managed to string in those kills when it comes to the entry. That combination between Chloe and as well as Japips to secure the site, plus the very fast reflexes of Sway to look behind and secure Muffin away, just to make sure the Muffin doesn't really destroy that much of their economy, right? And now the follow through, but Muffin this time has the operator. We know how good she is with this scoped weapon, and that's why she aggresses. This must be something that they will not expect, and that's why Sway down with the ult doesn't really get anything else, but Lax in response so quick with the kill.
The Jellyfish has come out. They have all the information they need, but for now, Lax, we know that she's very good at stopping those lurks, stopping those flanks. And for now, we see a quiet time come through from the side of OG. And this is where it gets pretty antsy, when you kind of deny that information from the side of X10S. You're not gonna give them any shred of information to work with, and suddenly X10S has been blind. And it feels that way throughout this entire map. Regardless, here comes Polly watching the double doors here. Doesn't get that information from that side because everyone is coming in from the opposite side of pillars, and that's honestly such a smart thing. Chloe not only has secured mid, but she also gets one for
left.
Lax. Actually, Lax gets one. For now, they're just quickly getting onto B side here. It's all open, free real estate for them as Lax playing the anti-lurk, catching them off guard here, and Genie right on top, not able to
Spike
see
planted.
her at all. And if she jumps up, she may just be sprayed out, but no, she throws out that util, gets punished for it. That's a 3k for Lax.
And catching them off guard is actually X10S, Polly, and Baby TZ, who has already secured some parts of the site. Kachao is gonna ring around the
enemy
Rosie.
remaining.
She's gonna use the knife to get that kill, and even gets the second. That is nasty from Kachao, and she even get 9. Yeah, she got 2.
Oh my god!
Not with the knife though. Not with the knife for the second one.
I cannot believe she did that. But honestly, just now, Ginny had the upper hand because she just didn't check under her. That was a very, very big mistake. She got 1 and then she did it again. What? Oh no, it wasn't a knife. It was a shot. But still, I can't believe she got away with that.
Yeah, I mean, Polly was quick to look back, but Kachao doing Kachao things just was quicker than anybody else for X10S. And that's going to be quite heartbreaking. Ginny, however, she did try to get a lot of information using the guiding light, but she missed out on all of these opportunities because there are a lot of corners here in the map of Breeze. Even if you pop off the flash, does it mean that you have also comfortability when it comes to the lurks? And now again, with that null command, nothing else can be used here by Polly except for the gun that she used to get Kachao. But Kachao is going to be easily revived here. The spike is open, but Chloe says, "This is my playground." She takes down Muffin.
Jiggle coming in from them. Both of them gonna win. I don't know about that, but OG is in trouble right now. Not quite. They do lose 1. But Jump does get 1 kill with the util and Sway. Gonna just close that out here as we move on to a 10th
Last round in the half.
Well, how the turntables.
I mean, this is what? Similar to the map of Blind when it comes to the aggression of OGT. I mean, earlier on it was X10S's defense aggression that was shut down. That shut down OG. But this time, OG seems to really know how Xen plays this map. They know where Polly would be hiding in these corners. They know where Baby TZ's cameras will be set. That's why they always manage to get all of these kills when it comes to the entry. But now, Sway, very confident in terms of that peak. But she's going to be taken down by Muffin. Sway, some trade gets Ginny. Trade after trade, Muffin gets kill with the operator. She gets tagged by the Hunter's Fury. But she still dashes away to save. However, uses the ultimate and Yalitza to secure the round with a Hunter's Fury of her own, making sure that the 11-1 isn't gonna happen. They secure 2 for the first half.
Looking really, really good for them for this final round as they finally figure it out. Regardless, it was still a little bit too close for comfort if we saw that happen earlier, but it is gonna be our half now as we go on to that. Now I'm curious to know how exactly what exactly OG has in mind when it comes to defense. I mean, we've seen how they do Ascent defense, and we know that's OG's map. They know, or they just really, really control it. But what about this team? So now if we see X10 just now on the attack, we may be seeing a whole different thing. As we said before, this map favors attackers. So what can they do against this aggression? When it comes to knowing how exactly to defend spaces, it feels like X10 was a little bit lost. But on attack though, it might just be a different story.
Yeah, I mean, them getting lost in the map sometimes does have an advantage because when it comes down to the pushes, I can already imagine how Ginny and Muffin will take control of mid just by using the guiding light and the sheer firepower that Muffin has in her pocket. But at this point, OG, what they need to really just take control of is the ground that they're standing on, because they're now on the defense. They can sit comfortably, wait for all of the utilities to come in, and then probably get all of the timings when it comes to the frags. But it's not just that easy. When it comes to the aggression of X and S, we all know them to be very, very feisty on attack. So it's more about, number one, making sure that they're patient. not to really lose all of those duels in these very sticky situations. Sometimes if you stick out your neck and then you get killed, that's going to be quite tricky and hard to redeem yourselves from. Then second is more about knowing how X10S is positioned around the map.
Oh, yeah.
Because at this point, you know how they can be when it comes to these lurks. Sometimes you would just see Ginny at the part of spawn, on CT spawn, already getting the kills and cutting off the rotations for the defending team. So they have to be wary about those two in order to get the round for the defense. But at least for X10S, we all know them to be very creative when it comes to the attack. It's just that, are they motivated enough to probably get another comeback and play for overtime yet again in map number 2?
I think we might be seeing on how they want to do it. But honestly, in terms of how they played defense earlier, they gave so much space to Orangutan. Given the fact that Halls was completely just open just like that, we didn't really see Baby TZ actually play with her around her utilities at all. She was kind of like stretched thin, I feel, where she had to rotate left and right. And it gave them not only so much space, we do see that there was a cage on doors earlier for them, but because no one was playing around there, they just kind of pushed through. They're like, okay, we pushed through, no one was waiting for us, doesn't really matter. For now, Japip's gonna get that hard information as her recon does get destroyed, as Sway gonna get that trade. That's a trade for a Viper. And I wouldn't really think that's the best sort of situation for them, because that wall can be very, very valued to stop people from coming on site. Regardless, we do have Kachao anchoring here, and we do know she can play the surprise game if she wants to. Ginny already on the site. It's going to give space away from that area there because of that, and Ginny immediately catches her off guard. Those are some very, very nice lineups, but Muffin is going to be catching her off guard. No, not quite, as Japips is aware there's going to be a push up to her. There is another 3 more people from X10 to worry about. 3-on-3 situation. Where's Recon? On Recon, flashes 2 as well. So Lissa gonna try and get the chip damage through. Not enough.
Player
It's
standing.
gonna be Baby
One
TZ with a
enemy
2K.
remaining.
And Chloe gonna try and band-aid the situation. 1-on-1, Chloe and Baby TZ. She does get that there. Immediately finds her in the end. Was not aware that Chloe had pushed up that hard.
Great recovery for OG. I mean, those that were staying on site just fell down to the aggression of X10S. But immediately, OG has an answer to the situation. It was Peeps' very calm situation at the very back of the site. She waited for the rest of the teammates. She really prepped up that recon bolt as well. And she managed to get her second against Alyssa. Baby TZ, however, gets 2. At this point, Chloe knew how Baby TZ would play the situation. She already used that cage. But then, okay, I might have already got this to have, so you wouldn't really know. That's why you're gonna push up. That was just very genius for Chloe. I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, honestly, they already had that similar situation on Ascent. It's just about reading it if they're gonna do it again. Sway, though, I think she had an idea we might have a lurking Cypher there. Getting that. Ooh, didn't find a Cypher, but found a Muffin instead. Does take a lot of damage, though. Immediately gonna reposition herself here, putting herself in out of harm's way. Ollie, just waiting to smoke out here. We do see that anti-lurk trap there as Sway. That was a very fast reposition, as Baby TZ is so very low. Immediately Chloe gets one as well. Lax as well as Chloe with 2K in her pocket. That's the value of having a Viper on your team for an anchor. You see how she's playing with that utility. It's just that she puts the wall up, wall down, wall up. Whenever you need to be able to get the information, wall down. And you never really know when exactly the wall is going to be going down. And they use that to her advantage.
Yeah, I mean, this was X10S's force buy. They forced bought all of the Spectres, but it didn't really convert to a win. This was their last chance to get the momentum up and running, and they're left with what? A Bulldog, a Sheriff, a Marshal for Baby TZ. But I'm not really sure if this is gonna be enough, because OG, they're already on match point. If X10S doesn't make this work for them, then this is a map that's OG's already. Kachao is pushed up for 90 HP. She does a lot of damage. But Alyssa is not scared. Even sees Chloe. So Chloe is out for the hunt, getting response from OG.
That was so nasty from Alyssa.
One enemy
Band-Aid,
remaining.
just that. It's 4K. Give her the ace. She stands, but not quite.
One enemy remaining.
Finds Kachao. Finds Chloe. One-on-one. Who is faster here? Whiffs that unfortunately one bullet left. Not quite able to do anything, but Headhunter is there to save the day. What's her Headhunter? What's a Headhunter? Sorry, it was her classic.
I mean, that was a great intent for Lax to just push forward and catch him off guard, but we all know how Baby TZ is with the Marshall. She's very fast, she's very quick, and it's not just body shots that she gets. Those are headshots. Even if Chloe just equalizes the situation, spraying down people in mid, if it's Baby TZ left, it's gonna be a win on the line and a win in favor of Baby TZ. Look at that fast reaction. It's not over just yet.
Too. I have to say, great use of the Marshall. But for now, X10, I'm hoping that is enough to kind of give them the momentum to bring it up to an overtime. I guess second overtime of the night, but when you're 3 and 12, it's a very, very scary situation because no mistakes are allowed to be made. Regardless, X10 taking their time this time. They want to do the same thing, emulating it. They got some success there. It's probably going to be throwing out that Viper wall. Even though that Viper wall is going to be isolating archers as well as tunnel, there is 2 people already on the side, and immediately those sprays come through! Beautifully done from Chloe as well as Lax. Doesn't really matter though, because they are just ready to spray, and Jump Pips catches them off guard, and it's 13-3 in the favor of Orangutan. Creative use of utilities win them this game.
Gosh, what is that round from OG? They might have lost one, but the redemption round for both Lax and as well as the Viper. Imagine having 2 anchors in one site. It's basically impenetrable. And the way that Chloe just repositioned and used that gap of the cyber cage to make sure that nobody comes through that cage was just stellar. And Lax was there also to save the day, to spray and pray with her to make sure nobody comes in. The gate is closed and we secure 13. Great performance for OGT.
I have to say, I have never seen anyone abuse the enemy cypher cage before. This is a first. And I have to say, if I could nominate the most 300 IQ player so far, it has to be Chloe. 100%. She just really knows how to play sneaky and catch people off guard. And in that situation as well, because of how she uses the utils for Viper, it really gave her team so much space. And if you see like now, her KDA is a whopping 4.2. That is insane. With 19 kills in her pocket and 2 AA combat score, it really shows her value as not only a control in the game, but just her sharpshooting in general. Because of the utilities from Viper, she plays with it. She knows there's a decay coming in. She knows that it also eats the HP. It does provide some chip damage. What she does, swing out, get those sprays. And sometimes that's all you need. Precise gunplay is great, is good when you get those headshots, but if you know how to kind of like mix that with those utilities, it can actually just see the conversion come through, especially in the numbers. If you look at that in terms of this as well, 13-3, OG damage is a lot higher in terms of frag wins and objective wins, but look at that headshot percentage. Yes, X10S works. This is what I was talking about in terms of their firepower, why they prefer this map. But does it really matter though if you are going down to utils as well as stray bullets?
I mean, it all boils down to the creativity. I think from the very beginning, it's how creative you are in the map of Breeze. This is your oyster, this is your canvas. And I think there were just a lot of splatters of not just paint, but also blood all over the floor because of how great OGT responded. Yes, headshot percentage must have been higher for the team of X10S, but it's also the wits of OGT that won them every round and got them the round every single time. It was Lax's lurks and as well as Kachao's sheer way of getting in towards the sites and making sure that the entries are possible. Muffin though did aggress over and Pauly secures the round for them, but getting 3 against the 13 of OGT is just not enough.
I have to say that having Lax as not only a lurking chamber, but also as an anti-flank has just been so good. It gave them so much value because when you have a Cypher, you can kind of already figure out what will be happening. And in a lot of situations, we kind of expect to see a Cypher play a little bit more aggressive here. I was kind of hoping to see maybe TZ play mid, have those aggressive camera angles, maybe toward pillar or maybe toward the entrance of sites. And in those situations, if say you don't get the information you need from that entrance, you're like, okay, there is no one here on main. We can actually push out for the pinch, which is what we kind of expect to see from them. Unfortunately, we do see the anti-flanks as well coming in from them in the form of lags, and that is why it's not possible for them to really work with that. Regardless though, 0-2 right now as we move on to our next map later, and it's going to be really interesting. Will we go 3-0 or will we be going to map 4? Don't go anywhere because more VCT game changers will be back with me and Dota.
wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down.
Everything was a breeze. Wink, wink. For OGT and map number 2, they got a 13-3. But let's see what happens here in VCT Game Changers APAC Series Open Overtime. We're down to 3 more maps if OGT is gonna give it to X10 Sapphire. What do you think about the happenings earlier in the 2 maps?
Okay, so now when we talk about X10, for a long time their firepower felt that it was uncontested. As we moved on to Icebox, we've seen Orangutan's performance on this map. It felt like every single time they compete on this map, they learn so much from it. But this is their first time actually playing with Chloe on this map, I believe. Not too sure about last week, but this is gonna be super impressive because for Icebox, it's still quite a large map when you think about it. A as well as B can be quite separated pretty far. And coming on from B side, from me personally, coming in from main itself can be a problem. It's a very small chokehold. It's a very long area as well. So the best kind of places for you to go through to kind of like back up your teammates can be either through kitchen or coming under tube, just to kind of catch those people off guard, watching in from underneath of containers or clear out a snowman. As for A, we all know as well that for A, it's a map where you come in through mid, go through there, or you can just kind of like go and aggress the A main side, because there is a lot of space to play around in that area. Regardless though, it is still a map that rewards aggressive plays, and we've seen aggression coming in from Orangutan, and for some reason we're not seeing the usual aggressive plays coming in from X10. And I really hope that they do find their confidence again soon, because what they were known for is those aggressive plays. Every round is an attack round, and I really want to see them come back if possible, just to really show that they really want to not only defend the title, but also to make sure that they can come back at least from a game 5.
Yeah, I mean, I see the resistance for X10 Sapphire. You mentioned that this wasn't really their prime, basically, when they were known for so much of these aggressive plays. Them, even as Baby TZ, as a sentinel, would just really push up and make sure that they cover the kills through a flank. It wasn't just really seen in Breeze. Yes, we saw Polly take cover when it comes to really securing the flanks, but it wasn't just enough. OGT, they have the right reasons to get the 13-3 because of how smart they play each of the map, especially when it comes to Breeze, which was initially X10's map pick.
Yeah.
And this time that Icebox was selected by OG, is there going to be still a resistance? Or will X10 Sapphire go all out as we expect them always to do?
Yeah, so when we talk about Orangutan in terms of how they play now, it's been phenomenal following them from the beginning of the year all the way now. We're almost in July, so that's 7 months that I've been following them, and every single round that we see them play over on Game Changers, they learn a lot and they really apply it, which really shows how much they want it and how much they can just like, you can see that they just slow climb to the top and how they want it as well. So now when you talk about them in terms of how they play, their ability usage is what I want to really highlight here, because it really not only cripples whatever aggressive plays that wants to be played by X10, but also that information deny is also what I want to talk about. Because X10, they thrive on information. They react to information. And in Breeze just now, it felt like they were blind. You don't know where they are. You might have some information they're here, and it immediately is a reposition, and it's a really fast and really long repositions that you can't really pinpoint where exactly they're gonna go. So if X10 is able to collect information, just kind of not only gather those information, but play around it, they might be able to just stop Orangutan in their tracks. But then again, this is Orangutan's map, so they may have something up their sleeves.
Yeah, it's quite a similar composition in terms of their selection. It's just that, at least for the team of OG, they're going to select a Jet. But for the side of X10S, this is quite tricky because they're doing a triple Sentinel pick. They have the Sage, they have the Chamber, and as well as a Killjoy for Baby TZ. I'm not really sure if this is gonna work out, but if they play the Chamber like a duelist, it could be possible. But this might create more of that resistance that we were talking about, because at least for them before, we would really just be we would really have our jaws drop because of how aggressive Ginny can be with a Reyna or with a Jet. Or even when it comes to Muffin being that Reyna or a Jet in this map of Icebox. But we're not seeing it now. So this must be a chance for OGT to show them aggression is what you're known for, but probably let's reinstate that. Let's take the crown away from you guys.
I did mention that this map favors aggression, and what they are going for is a triple Sentinel. In terms of taking up, wow, Kachao. I know what you're doing. But what they're going for here is not gonna allow them that space that they want, especially when you do not have that Jet. Regardless, Kachao is already waiting here. The wall is already out, and they're just gonna be planting inside of the smokes. So we are gonna be seeing seeing them just break that wall. And this is why having a stage is so valuable in this map, because on gun rounds, it really takes a lot of time just to dismantle this. For now, we are going to be seeing that post-plant positioning and no flanks coming through. There is a defuse as well, and that wall is sort of becoming their kryptonite here as Baby TZ gets walled out in return. Ka-chow! Ka-chow! Wow, wow, wow. She was so excited to use that shorty, but Japips is the one with the 4K in the pocket.
I loved how both of these teams used the wall. It was great for Alyssa to just wall them up to secure the spike plant, but even better for Chloe to use the wall just to make sure that they defuse the spike in no time. And that allowed Japips to wrap around Yellow, make sure she gets all of the kills for her own. That's why she got a 4K for that round. And Ka-chow with a silly little kill with a shorty to make sure that they get the pistol round. This is
so
really OG's. This isn't really OG's way of playing before. They were more. They were simpler.
They were very reserved
Yes.
before, it felt.
Yes. But now the
Look at
aggression
this! Ka-chow does take a lot of damage, but doesn't matter when you have a Sage on your team. Walls are up, as we are seeing a very similar setup from before. But the rotations from Orangutan just really shows that they're very, very confident when it comes to retakes. And I don't blame them. They have the Spectres. They're gonna dismantle the walls with no problem. They just take as much time as possible. Alyssa does get tagged. And we are gonna be seeing that post-plant lineups coming in with Snakebite. That wall is gonna protect them. And that's what's so great about having a Sage on your team for this map. Not only for heals to survive, but to jump in from the side here. Sprays gets one. Ka-chow, two in the pocket. Very clean. It doesn't really matter if you have post-plant lineups if your whole team is not able to protect you.
Definitely. I mean, when it comes to the utilities, I really loved Polly just throwing in that snake bite and then Ginny trying to secure the kills with shock bolt. Right? But that wasn't enough because at that point, OG knew when and how they would play the cards right. They would just really play back when it gets a little bit, when the damage already is kicking in. And then they just go back and defuse the spike. And this is where OG has been winning all of these rounds. They know how to play the timing when it comes to the spike defuse. When it comes down to really pushing through with their decision. They're being very decisive. And that's what I love about OG in this defense.
Ooh, Muffin does get swayed, and that's the op. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And I'm really liking how they're just adjusting the way they play. 2 hits onto B didn't really work, so now we just kind of get those picks. This time, they actually punished Sway for the aggression. Recon Bolt will find Muffin in the end, as Lax will be the one on the operator this time. Regardless, though, I don't know if they're where they are! And they immediately take her out, and under Tube, they already are not gonna be able to take mid just because of those smokes. For now, Recon Bolt just gets some information, not finding anything, and now they already have the hunches that it's going to be B where they want to hit. Slow rotations coming in. We're not seeing that quick rotations, at least from the side of Chloe, those Japips, and leaving only Ka-chow to anchor. They're very, very confident in her, and she does have those toxins. So if they were to walk inside to plant, all she has to do is just spray, but the Recon Bolt is not going to get the information, but they do hear that orb being taken.
At this point, Ka-chow wants to play this very aggressive with the use of the shock bolt and the viper, the snake bite. That's gonna at least buy them some time, but that's not gonna be enough because there's still 8 seconds for them to plant the spike. The Recon Bolt is thrown in, and Ka-chow manages to make sure that the spike isn't gonna be planted, and just by playing time, they secure the third.
Are you
They might
kidding
not have
me?
the best weapons,
Are you
but
kidding
they have
me?
the time. My gosh, OG.
Chloe! She was just like, what, Ghost? I'm good for one.
I mean, that was great performance for Muffin to get the first 2 kills.
That was good.
But at this
They
point,
played too slow though. They needed to they
Yeah.
really needed to just pick up the pace at that point. You already got 2 picks. You can aggress. And that's where I'm just questioning X10. Where is that confidence?
it's being taken slowly by Kachao here, who's really making sure nobody passes through my sight. She even mixes up her setup here in terms of the defense, uses the poison cloud up top to make sure there's a one-way smoke. But at this point, the push is coming in. What X10S failed to do was aggress forward. After the spike plant, they just really moved back, but that wasn't enough. Now Muffin pulls back using the rendezvous, but it's a 5v5. No kills at the moment.
I was about to say, was there a flank coming through from the side of OG? It looks like they're just going to be playing from this side. Again, Chloe with the wall and the shock dart as well with that. Oof. That's a very, very aggressive combo as Jupips plays this very aggressive corner through the smoke. Jupips with 2. Can it be a 3 for now? Yes, it does. Jupips on the roll right now, making 4, making the ace. No, not quite as Lax secures it. She actually lined up for her. I would say that maybe you shouldn't have, but they still win the round regardless. They got an up and they're going to be very happy with that. And there we go, 4-0 for them.
Yeah, we haven't seen an ace. It's always going to be 4 kills. But still, that was great showing for Japips for that round. It's usually her path when it comes to the retakes. She makes sure that nobody is hiding behind yellow, and once that's clear, she pushes forwards and wraps around them. That's why she was able to take the 4th. Unfortunate for her, it was Lax to take the 5th because it was an easy shot to the head for X10S. But looking at this again, a 4-0 isn't usually what we see between the two teams, right? And now XNS has a timeout in store. They're just really discussing how do we break the barrier, which is Kachao in B. Actually, they haven't really tried A just yet.
I'm just wondering why.
Yeah, definitely. I think as long as Kachao is alive and kicking and she still has the utilities, it's still a winnable situation for them when they retake B.
I think their idea is that maybe what they think is, okay, we have Chloe on A. She might have a wall there, perhaps. I'm not too sure. Or maybe they thought it's only Kachao on site. It's only one person we have to deal with. Regardless, it is one person to deal with. Kachao being able to utilize her abilities not only to get the decay as well as those chip damage, but the point is she's able to utilize it to kind of separate them, each player from X10 from their teammates. Allowing her that pick potential is what makes her so scary on B side. For now, I'm just wondering what they are planning on doing, but we are seeing this different sort of setup here, as I think they are going to be going to A. They're just trying to get some information first, as we see a more toward E side sort of like stat coming in from the side of OG. They probably have some ideas that they might be hitting there, but they're just taking their time. So we did see this happen earlier, where Muffin was able to take Lax out of the way as well as Sway, and I think in that situation they can aggress.
Yep, but Sway immediately. I mean, that was a long trade, but still, Eliza's down, no healer, no wall for them to use during the plant, and that's going to be quite scary. Even Japips is going to use the Hunter's Fury to try and figure out where they currently are, but what they don't know is that they've already slithered forward here in this site. She's going to hear the spike line, and that's why timing for her to get the peek. Chloe even gets the second, but from afar, Muffin is quicker to get the kill. Now it's a 3v2. Jimmy and Muffin all alone, but they haven't really planted 30 seconds
left.
It's gonna be a bit hard just to get the spike, given on what the crossfire coming through from 2 players here. Ginny caught out by Sway, and now it's only Muffin left alive. And wherever she turns, there's gonna be one Orangutan member just waiting here. Sway is gonna wait for that peek, and she gets it. There's a 3k for her. Very, very clean. They're not still able to do that, and I think if say that Muffin does get a pick, I would really love to see this explosive sort of fast coming onto the site coming in from X10. Because they're taking it slow, it allows Orangutan to get onto site, prepare for the retakes, and in that situation, it's gonna be very, very hard to deal with.
What I also noticed is Muffin gets the first kills, but OG follows through every single time.
You
the
want to
patience
play?
that they
Let's
make,
play.
every single round is just very good, showing that OG is really strong on the defense. Sway now with the operator is such a bigger threat. But even if Muffin has this tour de force and she intends to get the first kill yet again, the rest of the members of OG, they're just waiting here, making sure two anchors of the site, Lax plus Chloe, is gonna hold the ground for them, while the rest of the members have already just rotated. Japeeps is gonna help them out in such a way. But as you mentioned, X and S, they're playing this too slow, which is good, but it might be too slow.
Trade there. 2 for 1. Walls are up here. Doesn't really matter when Japips has so much space, but Muffin was raiding in the backside there. Does get what in return. Are seeing the lockdown as well come through from Baby TZ, but she is so very low. But for now, Kachao does good one. There is a revive coming on to her Ginny as well for her Sova. They can play for the first plant here if they want to. TZ 5 HP as Kachao ends her 2-on-2, but there is gonna be the Viper's Pit coming through. For now, here comes the Hunter's Fury as well as Alyssa does find Sway, gets Kachao as well. Great Thrifty coming in from X10.
This is what we want to see from X10S. Not only the thrifty round, but also them being decisive when it comes to the pushes. Because if not for Baby TZ's first kill on there towards the site, and even Muffin securing the kill while Alyssa was planting the spike, then it could have been another round for OG. But X10S, they make these decisions quicker now, which is good. Even the revive was shown for Ginny because they need all that they can get. Even use the Hunter's Fury for the post-pat, which got them their first round. This time they're going back to B. I'm not really sure because Kachao just really won't move a muscle. B is her playground.
It is her playground. It's her home as well, as Sway had to reposition because of those walls here. One peek is all they need. But this is what I'm curious to know. Why is mid not even tried at all to be taken by X10? Or maybe even kitchen, as Muffin will be the one to open it up. Sway's op is free for the taking here as they immediately run onto the site. Kachao walled out of her own utilities. Has to wait for her teammates to go for the retakes. There are a lot of situations her retakes have been very good as they all push up. Finds Chloe back there. They're not going to be playing that wall for the post plant though. Regardless, unfortunately, Muffin doesn't get that value, but she has to move away, had to reposition. Ginny playing Snowman here, and Alyssa is just waiting. Lex, good for one, does find Ginny there, but for now, Alyssa is good for one. Kachao does get one return. Muffin trades out with Kachao. 1-on-3, it's all up to Lax. And all that Lax has is just she has an upgrade. She has changed up her gun here, but she can't really see. There's a wall there. There's 3 other members from different angles watching with the crossfire. And I think the best way to move forward is to try at least get a pick, or perhaps just save up her gun for the next round. Regardless, she is still checking. Not good for anyone, as everyone will just be retreating her for now. And another round goes to X10.
This is great. At least they got 2 rounds in a row on X10S. They learned from their lessons. If we're not going to be able to plant the spike there in that corner where we usually do, we're just going to push forward and plant there in the pillar. And that's why if they aggress forward, there's more likelihood for them to win the round. Because they don't really just secure the kills, but they secure the space, which was always OG's territory. Because what X10S has during their post-plant in B is just green, is just yellow. And if Japeeps just really rams them down there, there's no other choice for X10S but to give up. And that at this point, it's going to be another aggression for Sway.
Silence.
Will be punished though by Ginny. She's ready for that.
That was honestly so good, as Kachao as well picked up this aggression coming in from X10, what they're known for, and perhaps they are back and online. For now, Polly, just take your time here as Lax not able to get that first contact. Unfortunate that gun diff is a little bit too much for them. Muffin just waiting here in the backside. If anyone were to push out, no one here as Chloe played this aggressive angle. She might be good for 1. Yes, she is. She be good for 2. Not quite as Alyssa takes her down. Japips from the backside. All up to her. She can play aggressive. Walls are up as well. Takes some damage. Plays ring around the rosy. There are 2 members waiting for her. She does get Polly. Misses that. But Ginny seals the deal, takes round 8, 5-3, and X10S back online.
This is the start of the momentum, the start of the fire of X10S. They've moved slow but carefully this time, making sure that they really cover all of the angles, making sure that no member from OG is gonna be still alive when we plant the spike. And this is the difference now of X10S in the first 5 rounds. They cover ground, they make sure to take the space, and leave nothing to OG. Now a timeout is in call for OG. They have to switch up the pace. They already know that Kachao is always going to be guarding B. You mentioned earlier, B is going to be the home of Kachao. And Chloe holding down A. If there's no aggression seen, aggression that is not punished, by the way, from Sway, then it's going to be round after round for X10S. Because they already know the usual things that OG will do during the defense. And they punish and they shut down any type of movement from OG.
Yeah, I have to say that this timeout is also really good for them because while they did lose on an eco, but it's also good to remember just the way that they're playing. Now, the first round where they played aggressive was mostly the fact that they just changed up the plays. They played aggressive, and then that confidence came through as they go into an eco. That gives them a lot of space and a lot of opportunities here. But now that we're back on the equalizer, I'm still hoping that X10S will be able to still continue playing this aggressive sort of plays. They already have an idea, or at least a read on how at least Orangutan plays, but Orangutan is a team that will always change up the pace. Look at that. Look how the walls are being set up now from the side of Kachao. And this is where they want to go default. They actually left the spike all the way in the backside. And we are seeing that we have Japips watching mid-side here instead of having Sway and Lax play mid-side underneath the tube. This change-ups is enough to just really catch them off guard, but we do hear the sound of an op here. And because of that sound, they're just a little bit turned off by mid-side. Immediately you see the smoke come out there underneath tunnel, just so that they can kind of like go through kitchen if they want to. But Polly's toxins are already going down here. They can't really hold on to that angle for a while now as they reposition, but honestly it's enough, and that recon gonna give them all the information they need as we see a slow rotation coming in from Orangutan, just waiting to retake. We are hearing the recon dart come through as well. It does get destroyed, but it gives them all the information they need. And Lags, good for 1, good for 2 before teleporting away. Kachao gets taken down. Not a great situation for them. Not enough toxins, not enough walls just to kind of hide the information for them as Muffin takes Japips. And not only are their walls taken out, their eyes are taken out as well.
Now the big risk for Lax to push forward through Smoke and Sway to finish out the round. That was quite unexpected. Usually that's Kachao, and because Kachao was already dead, oh no, they're not gonna do it anymore, nope. But Lax is there, timing for her to push out that Viper Spit, the confidence for her. She saw the silhouette of both of the members. She did not only get the first 2 kills, but she secured the round for OG.
Holy, I have to say, I really thought that round was in the bag for S10. Just the fact that they had no recon, no Viper walls, and they already had the Viper's pit set up. But I have to say that unpredictable or just aggressive play that we were not expecting, because you don't expect the unexpected, Orangutan took full advantage of it. And we also got a revive as well onto Japips just to kind of equalize their economy from Chloe, and that's why she has actually been farming those orbs. We actually did notice her earlier. Regardless, Ginny now, you do hear the slow orbs come through as Sway ate some damage there from that, but she does get a pick. It's going to be Sway out of the way, but I think that's going to be worth enough for them. Chloe, she loves playing these aggressive angles here. She gets 1, gets 2, not quite as maybe Cheesy will be the one taking her down. No Sage Wall to kind of help them in the post plan, but it doesn't really matter. Now all they have to worry about is 2 members of Orangutan in the post plan as Lax just waiting here. They did not realize that Kachao was playing the back of side. Beautiful crossfire as they take care of 2 different angles, back of side as well as main. There are still 2 people to worry about there, but there is Kachao's smokes just to kind of hinder the information. You do see the post plants coming in from the nano swarms as well. Now that's out of the way. There is still 1 more to worry about. Muffin just trying to pop some hits. Yes, Baby TZ does pick up one. They do hear the pop or the beeping sound here. They have to push up. And now this for one. Yes, it is. And Baby TZ secures the round. This aggressive Baby TZ is what I want to see.
Yeah, great discipline for Baby TZ as well. She did not panic at all when her swarm, her nano swarm, was destroyed. She just really wanted to secure the round for the team. And if she did aggressively push up, she could have been punished there by Lax. But no, she just waited. She made sure that, okay, you can get it to half, but that's all that you get. I still get the win. And as you mentioned, Baby TZ's aggression is just signs of life for X10S on this attack. Not necessarily though, but Lax wants to get this orb so that she has the tour de force ready.
Sweet, once again, she does get that op kill onto Muffin. It is good enough. There is the revive coming in from Alyssa as well. Muffin back in the game. They are going to be seeing that lockdown coming in from Killjoy. Wants to give the space, they are going to have to give it. But retake-wise, though, I don't think it's been an issue from Orangutan. There is one player detained, and that's going to be Sway. But it doesn't really matter because her teammates are close by. There is going to be one taken out by Chloe. For now, that wall is going to prevent that shot from the top side here. Unfortunately, Muffin whiffs that shot. Gonna push through here as Polly does get Chloe. She's so low. Flax and Pips one each in the pocket. You don't realize there's one person on the no, that beautiful flank and jump Pips as well. Beautifully played from them. It looks so good in the start from X10, but OG's retakes were just better.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. Like OG, when they do the retakes, they're like a SWAT team. They look at all of the corners, which X10S could probably be holding, and they pre-fire every time. And when they pre-fire, they get all of the kills. And Chloe here, so brave for her to push out. Yes, Polly was able to take her down, but Japips was so quick to get these trades for the team. And even them closing in is Kachao from behind, which I think OG doesn't really necessarily do the flanks all the time.
I have
That's
a question
why
for
they did not accept
You want to
it.
play? Let's play.
So my question is it Kachao's playground or Japip's playground, honestly, by this point?
I mean, A is her playground, basically. Japips always knows where X10S is gonna play. It's as if she's really covered a lot of the scrims against X10S, and then also studied how they would play. Because Japips always has to get the multi-kills for the team when it comes to the retakes. That's what I noticed about Japips.
Oh, both of them missed it. Okay, that was just a warning shot from both of them. They're just a little bit, but Chloe wasn't playing though as she finds Alyssa, but Polly gonna take her out of the way. We are seeing the Hunter's Fury come out here as Lang takes out Baby TZ. Polly sprays out there, not able to reach the mark, and we are seeing a counter of Hunter's Fury from the side there as Japips gets one and Lax as well onto Muffin. Honestly, 2 players is enough to steamroll the entire side at this point, and Lax good for 3. Honestly, it was all just Japips and Lax at that point.
So great from Lax. I mean, as a chamber, you would expect, okay, if I sense danger, I would rendezvous away. But I think it's the different side of Lax this time. She pushes forward every time, and that flick from right to left just to secure the kill against X10S. Lax is really stepping up for the team.
Honestly, Orangutan, their defense, regardless of map, has been phenomenal. I think they have, when it comes to using utilities on defense, they have the right idea how to use it, how to rotate, how to hold. And I think that's what makes Orangutan such a great team. And now for attack as well, we saw it happen on the side of, I think we really saw that steamroll happen from Breeze. Now coming back to this map in particular, we saw the aggression coming through from Orangutan, and I'm really hoping we keep seeing that on the attack side as well. But my curiosity is, we didn't really see any mid plays, any mid pushes, even to Kitchen, and I think that would be the best way forward for X10 Crit in general, just because of the fact that if they have so much space to play with, they're good for those picks that they're very known for. But I think in this situation, because they're not too sure where exactly each utility is gonna be, they were just kind of banking or just trying to get the site and play for post plant. But even for post plant side, they weren't very keen on taking space until up to the second half of them on the attack. Regardless, though, I think they might have an idea. They might have this. We might be seeing aggression coming in from defense side. We have seen life of it, especially from Baby TZ, coming in from even Muffin. So perhaps this may just be different because some teams, they tend to just kind of like wake up or reset in the half.
Yeah, definitely. And the wake up and the reset on the defense is going to be prime because they have 3 sentinels. They have the chamber, they have the killjoy, and they have the sage. So everything else is going to be walled off for them. I think one of the reasons why they weren't really primed for the attack is because of the lack of the duelist. Yes, they had Muffin on the operator and on
They
the
can take
force
space
for
with
some of the rounds, but it's not
chamber.
enough.
Yeah.
I would have to agree. The sage walls give them cover, but it's not space. It's just cover. So I think that's really the mix-up for both of the teams. But now that we're seeing Sway on the Jet, will she take hold of the sights of the 3 sentinels, though? That is really the question.
Yeah, when it comes to taking space, that's why it's important to have at least one duelist because, or at least maybe if you really, really want to take space, maybe perhaps a duelist Omen. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there because you can secure those areas in the site if you want to. But when you look at their triple sentinel, it only is good so long as you have those utils. So in the form of Alyssa, if her walls are down, if her slows are out, that will be an easy site for her for them to take if she already expanded that. But at the same time, one thing about sentinels is that if you're out of utils, you suddenly lose this this usefulness that you have because you do rely on utils. Baby TZ though will be the one taking a lot of damage, but she does put a lot of chip damage onto the players of Orangutan, so it doesn't really matter as Polly swings out at Chloe and OG's way. That's 1 each. Oh my god, I have never seen this plant or this wall
Spike
before, and
planted.
I am loving this.
One enemy
and
remaining.
This mid play is honestly what I was hoping to see from X10 Sapphire, and it's gonna be really hard as you are not able to really cover those usual angles. That's a very sneaky angle. My god.
Yeah, who would have thought that they would just go through mid, through orange, and plant the spike that way? It's not commonly done as a strat. And that's why X10, all of their eyes were on the main entrances, not through mid. Even if Baby TZ called for it, there was a wall blocking Polly already, and she was already down. And for once the retakes have already come in, Ginny, she was left with nothing. She has no teammates. She does have some piece of utility, but that's not gonna be enough. Now OG, when it comes to the attack though, are they gonna expect this? Sway takes down 1, but Lax is also down.
With the headhunter too, that's quite a lot of value with that. But for now, we are seeing Sway. She is just pressing a W and she gets 2 already, make that 3! But gonna be stopped by Baby TZ. For now, Polly on the side there. Good for 1, good for 2, not quite as Japips gets 2 in the pocket.
So great, Japips always really stepping up and saving the day for the team. Because with that Spectre being picked up by X and S, that was quite tricky. That's kind of scary because of the higher clutch potential for that to happen for that round.
W
And
gaming for Sway.
yeah, but Sway 3 as she dashes
Just
in.
walk
She doesn't,
straight!
she doesn't really care for the world. As long as I do my job, as long as I entry, I get 3. Okay, it's up to you guys. Japips, take it away.
Yep, I got 3 guys. I'm done. I did my job. My Spectre is done. And that's the confidence coming through. And that's what I really wanted to see as well from X10, that confidence. And for now, another timeout from them this time as they try to figure out what is going on. But just now, I mean, for that round, for them to lose, it is projected, you have to say. But I was kind of hoping that
Yeah.
they would get more picks just so that they can't bring their guns into round 3. And that's exactly what happened here from Orangutan. Regardless, this is their buy round. This is where they say, how can we make sure that we can move on to the next round with our guns intact, as long as we can not have everyone just kind of steamrolled out. We saw that happen on Breeze, where they lost to OG as well. They weren't able to go into round 4 with their guns, and they really, really suffered just because they weren't able to kind of equalize that situation, give themselves that fair rounds that they should have. Regardless, though, 10-4. not really a super large mountain to climb, but they're running out of chances.
Yeah, I mean, and the chances are really in favor of OG. Every time there's a round, when it comes to playing it safe, they can do it. But when it comes to aggression, they can also do it. So it's now how colorful OG is now in terms of the attack. Because even though there are a lot of utility in their way, they're still not backing down. They want to make sure that they cover the ground. And when it comes to defense, X and S though, it's just one. And Polly has a very cheeky
It's a very
part of the
scary
site here.
angle, actually, when you think about it. If they are going to be checking, so it's a high risk, high reward. But if she is at least good for 2 or good for 1, they'll be good. And I don't think that Sway actually saw her gun barrel just yet. Rika comes out, she sprays, but Sway was just a little bit faster at that first contact because she didn't have to move. She was already pre-aiming there. Regardless, she does get some chip damage here. Walls are up as Alyssa tries to chip it out. Plant does come through here as Alyssa has to give Spade. She has no clue what's going on. This is what I was talking about, denying information, where you just have to wait for Ginny to get onto site to give that information with the recon dart. They do know there's one on yellow, but how many are there? There's the post-plant wall coming through, but they did break it. Spray and pray. Lax does get baby TZ, but it was Alyssa. Actually, she's solo! That's a double and DK. That's a double snake fight. Not a great situation. Ginny was good for 1, but that's all she's good for.
What? That was just a split second. That was supposedly Alyssa's defuse. But them throwing in the snake bite together with that poison cloud, timing for them. Okay, we might not be able to shoot bullets through the wall, but okay, I'll throw the abilities in. And that's why they secured the round. Oh, gee, they're playing this smart, and it's really blowing my mind.
Because honestly, in a lot of people's minds, if you get 1 spray through the smoke, you would have probably thought that you already got the diffuser out of the way. And I think the idea from X10 was 1 go down, we have 1 more still sticking it. But because of that second snake bite coming through, I think it was more just to kind of like make sure they can't take space. It kind of like worked out in their favor perhaps. Not too sure if it was calculated or not, but regardless, great play by them.
Enemy kill. Definitely. And here Sway does the muffin play. We're in. Okay, there's a scoped weapon waiting for anybody to peek out. And here, Sway even gets one with the blade. Slacks as well. Takes down baby TZ. And Jenny here has to fight for her life. She takes down 1, but Kachao is there for the trade. However, still waiting. But misses the first 2 shots. Japip secures match point for OG. This is an exciting story because we did not expect this. Earlier on, we kept on saying, yes, we'll get to Fracture. Yes, we'll get to map number 5. But match point and map number 3, sheesh, OG.
OG. Just, I don't know what you had for dinner. I don't know what you rebranded. This rebrand, I'm here for it. It's amazing and I am on this Orangutan train. Now, X10, they did get 2 in a row before they finally go into that half. And that was the moment where I thought was it might be a little bit too late for that momentum to come through just because of that change in half. Regardless, OG, they want to play it safe, they want to play it smart, and they don't want to go to overtime. They don't want to get too many rounds if possible. They want to close the round. There are going to be breaking at least those utils, and I'm loving this patient sort of play coming from them where they don't have to force their way onto site. Just wait for all the utils to be used up so that they're comfortable enough to get onto site. That's already 1 snake bite and 1 slow use, and Alyssa had to move away just because of that snake bite coming in from behind there. She's going to be playing this cheeky corner there. A lot of people, for some reason, don't check, but I'm not too sure if that's going to be the same thing from Orangutan. Sway, not able to get that value, didn't see anyone just yet. But now Alyssa does get Kachao out of the way. She knows that she's there. But now, woo, GD gets 1 and baby TZ as well. Japips does find Alyssa in the end. Baby TZ good for 2. It's only Japips down. Is she good for at least 2? We don't know. But the other members did get chipped. But Polly not allowing that to happen as they take 5 points as to 12.
Yeah, I mean, earlier on you said it's a tough mountain to climb. But it was 8 points in terms of the lead for OG. This time they took 1 away. OG can still fight for their life. X10S, they have to have the reset, not just about the momentum, but also their mental, because probably game number 1 was such a devastating experience for them. They already had 11-1 and they let OG take it away from them. This time, though, it has to be the same mindset that OG took from X10. They have to believe that they can do it, even though there's already match point for OG.
Ooh,
And
Japips.
Japips, however, just takes that away from Muffin. No
Free
more
up.
chamber. No, free up, yeah.
Free up. Thank you for delivering that to my doorstep, she says. This way, you know that she can get that value from it if she wants. But this information denial is not allowing her that. There is gonna be the lockdown coming through as Sway gonna have to move out of the way for now. Wow, it's like a rhyme at this point. Sway moving out of the way. As Polly, suspecting that there might be a rotate, gonna put up those smokes and does eventually get some chip damage onto Lax. You're gonna see that Viper's hit come through as Lax still pushes through, and I don't think that she is aware that Polly did actually move out. Usually when you expect to see a Viper will be inside her pit, but she's like, hello, I'm out here for air just a little bit. And for now, Chow gets that information. I don't know, oh my god, maybe she didn't see, or maybe she did. Did swing out once again, picks up Alyssa.
30 seconds left.
On pick has been really great for them, but you didn't know that Ginny was there! But Chloe was just faster on the reaction time.
Spike
They were caught off guard, but look at this pit. Oh my god, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and then when it comes down to that, nobody's gonna pass through. But at least Easy has covered some ground, but Sway takes her down anyway. Polly is left all alone with just one snake bite. And she's decayed. 87 HP though, she gets 1 kill. But they don't really know where else. But she's inside the pit now. She's gonna be decayed. A lot of pressure now. She goes down. She's trying to find the spike. She doesn't know where it's planted at the moment. There's gonna be kills with a knife. Again with Kachow's knife backstabbing and securing a 3-0 for OG. What a victory.
Kachow, that's your second knife of the night. Girl!
What? Kachow,
She was
I think at this point
flying
you're
at her.
enjoying so much.
You saw them both like just jump up at her. So all the knives out. They're like, hey guys, surprise. Well, honestly, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I loved how Kachow played it because they were outwitted. Because there was a Viper spit up top, they thought that the plant was there. But the wall also just covered where the spike was, and Polly was left with question marks over her head. Where is the spike? I want to at least defuse it for half and then get all of the kills, but they did not let that happen. Kachow came from behind and even snuck in a backstabbing kill.
Oh, she didn't backstab, she just jumped in her face. But regardless, let's have a look at the stats here as it's 13-5 in favor of Orangutan, and I think that this is Orangutan's best run yet. In all the tournaments we've seen them play in, and Japips will be the one with the MVP, 21 kills in the pocket with a 3.0 KDA and 291 combat score, and honestly it speaks for itself as Japips is a very, very aggressive Sova. And I have to say, this unconventional ways of playing agents is something that I think that we should give to Orangutan. The fact that we usually think that Sova would play in the back, just trying to play with the shock darts, just trying to play with the recon, but no, we see Japips just pressing W, just playing the wraparound, coming forward. You see Kachow not afraid at all to play with her utilities and just spraying through. As for Lax, she's a great lurk. She's been stopping all those lurks. She's been stopping all the flanks. Honestly, so good. And Chloe as well. Her 300 IQ plays, I thought it was only going to be on like a Killjoy or maybe even a Sova, as we've seen before on Enigma Galaxy. But even on a Sage, she knows how to play aggressive. And I'm really liking this. So I think we should really redefine what a battle stage should be. She's not a stage that plays on top of walls, play aggressive, but just an aggressive stage in general should be given that, and I think Chloe deserves that.
Definitely. And looking at this, the stats at least were balanced in the past 2 maps because of the scoreline. But OG, they take everything. They take the damage, they take the headshot percentage, even the wins, and the objective wins were there. They plant the spike, make sure to protect it at all costs. But most of the wins that they got were frag wins. It means that they're aggressing. Now, I love the new look of OG. You mentioned that they have rebranded. It's still the same team, but different energy from Japips, from Kachao, and the rest of the team members. I love this from them. And I love what you said about Japips leading the charge. She's not the one to really play back with all of the shock bolts. You mentioned this, but I love that she initiates and leads the team, not just through the utilities, but her sheer will to make sure that the rounds are won. She takes the charge when it comes to the retakes. She pushes forward every time the team needs her, and she's there to save the day. I recall that when I said that she's there to save the day, because if it weren't for her killing Baby TZ in round number 2 during the second half, then it would have been Baby TZ's clutch. But Chapips is always there, and she always got her teammates back.
Yeah, and I really like how much map control Orangutan has as well. They're not too quick on the rotations just because they want to make sure that it's just the right information. And because of how confident they are with the retakes, what I'm really liking is the fact that they are okay to wait for the teammates. They're okay to play slow for the retakes. They're not a type of team that gets picked off one by one. It's a very, very different sort of stark reaction, or at least gameplay coming in from the side of Ascent Crit, where they're a little bit too slow or a little bit too fast. There's a little bit of a disconnect there in terms of how they want to play it and how they want to move forward. Regardless, we should really have a look at the game again and just kind of see what exactly went down. So we look at Japips here. You don't expect her to be on the other side. She's as quiet as a mouse, and the way that Chloe had put her wall there, a lot of people would think like, okay, they're not going to be pushing that because that wall is going to be where they want to be with the teammates. They're going to have to break it. But when you have a player who is not afraid to push forward, you have a team that's not afraid to go aggressive, like even Chloe, this is where the question mark comes up. Where exactly are they going to be? Where exactly are they going to be lurking? Where exactly are they going to be playing with their utilities? And a lot of situations, those 300 IQ plays as well, like those fake plants on the top of the of container when it's just usually just default, is just very interesting to me. I have yet to see a team who is this creative with their utilities.
Yeah, and I loved it how they were very unpredictable when it comes to these plays. I loved it. It's unpredictability. It's the creativity shown by OGT. That's the reason why they got this to a flawless 3-0. First map was overtime, but the rest of the maps, it seemed pretty easy for them. I don't really know how they formed themselves into this state. I think it was also the journey that they went through all the stage of the opens, and now it seems that they're so strong. They've built a mountain for themselves, and they're up top shouting, "We're the queen of the world now!" And they waved their flag because they're in VCT Game Changers. FSL Elite.
Yeah, they going to FSL Elite. Yep, they have won overtime. They're going to Elite. And I think this is what they wanted from the beginning. And I have to say, I really, really like the fact that these girls are just so cute. Every time they're doing so well, you see that shake coming in from that, and they're just so excited. It's just so pure and happy to see from them. And I really love the energy as well as the sisterhood from the team as well. It really just shows the bond. And I was really curious and just wondering earlier, I did ask this question before we started. What is going on with their chemistry if they're very, very new? But then we got our answer. It's already there. They're just, that's why the picks happen, because they're just so comfortable playing with each other. And I said before, this is their best run yet, and they're going to Elite. Finally, after going through stage 1, they didn't quite make it, but now, hello, Orangutan, rebranded, love the aggression, and love seeing them play. I'm a big fan.
Definitely, and you mentioned chemistry, and I feel like this is the perfect formula now, the perfect form of OG. It's like the Powerpuff Girls, right? You mix the spice, the sweetness of it all, and even the energy is very contagious from Japips. I think there was an interview earlier on for OGT. It means that when she's funny and she's contagious, she can just really bring in the energy, and it seemed like Kachao getting 2 knife kills, it seems that everybody else was having fun.
It really felt like Kachao was feeling good. You don't really see this sort of plays unless a player is really, really feeling good. And I really have to say that seeing this sort of like change in gameplay and pace and just strategy really puts them in a whole different world, I believe, when it comes to playing. And I'm really excited to see how they perform on Elite, because we do have our usual teams out there. We have AE, we have SMG, and these are the teams that usually we already know how they play. They're very calculative, but I have to say, when it comes to just being carefree, being very loose, Orangutan is just bringing in a whole different vibe when it comes to how they play on tournament level.
Yeah, and when they play reckless, it doesn't mean that they lose their rounds. They still win it either way, and that's what's great to see here. After all of the opens, I think I've seen a lot of their stories and a lot of their tweets that sometimes they're
They're very
become
expressive.
devastated. But this time that they got a 3-0 against XNC, who is top 4, then probably there's a big story to it. Actually, we really want to know whether or not what really brings in the energy, right? And I think we have an opportunity to interview one of the members
Ooh.
of Orangutan to really pick their brain. Why are they winning this well, and why was there also the comeback from map number 1? I guess these are the questions that we want to ask. I'm not too sure if the interview is ready.
Just still waiting for that, but it is gonna be happening soon. I'm really curious to know who exactly will we be talking to, and it looks like it's gonna be, it's all of them. Hi girls.
Hi. Guys. Can you come back to Pepe?
Oh, you're
Hello.
all there. I am so happy to see you guys. Congratulations on your 3-0.
Thank you,
Honestly,
thank you.
it's just so exciting to see you guys
She's saying
come
banana
up
buff.
here. Banana buff, honestly, I don't blame you. Banana buff is real here. But I have to say, how are you guys feeling coming this far and making it to Elite?
We kind of knew we'd make it. Pretty confident. We feel great.
And for now, I have another question for you. So now with the addition
Yes.
of Lax and Chloe to the team, how long did it take for you to kind of figure out how to play with each other?
They kind of meshed in pretty well. Like they meshed in pretty they meshed in ASAP, and it was like our natural chemistry was so good. We didn't even have to put in so much efforts. Like Lax was a sub, she subbed in 3 days ago, during the
Only 3
what
days
were the
ago.
matches. Yeah, because Casper was unwell,
Wow.
so we had to replace Casper ASAP. And
Oh yeah,
Lax
I
just
think
subbed
she
in.
did tweet
And-
that.
Yeah, and it just felt like we're not playing with the sub, we're playing with our own teammate, the chemistry was so good.
Okay, so I have another question for Kachao. Kachao, you got 2 knife kills tonight.
Yeah.
So what exactly motivated that?
Kachao,
I honestly don't know what came over me. At the first knife kill, I was really scared, and then I just did it, and then I was supposed to knife the other one, the one that was defusing, right? But then I got really control, so I just flipped to my gun.
Yeah, I do have a
Just go
question
up
though
the
for the
flames.
next one.
she was in kitchen, and from there she's screaming, I'm gonna knife her.
I'm so excited to talk about it.
And she did not only do it once, she did it twice in 2 maps. I do have a question for Sway, however, because we
Yeah.
all know that map number 1 didn't really go as well in the first half.
Yeah.
What was going on? What was the energy like for you to get that comeback from an 11-1 to a 12-14?
So when we were losing, we were pretty down, I'd say. But when we won the pistol call, I screamed, "We're gonna do the greatest comeback ever!" And we ended up winning. Also, Chloe whispered to Jepepe saying that.
I whispered to her.
Oh, yeah, she whispered to Chloe saying that I'll be a slave for 1 year if you win.
Oh,
I
no,
guess,
that explains the tweet! Okay, that's fair. Donut, do you have any more questions?
I think that's my last one, but I guess the energy here is very bubbly. It seems so fun to be working together with
Yeah.
with you guys. I mean, even when it comes down to winning a round that was unwinnable, it just has to be a specific bet. Okay, if we win this map, then I'll be this
I
for
called
you,
it.
right? And
They wanted.
And then
She
you guys
wanted
are-
a slave. She wanted a slave. So I have one final question. What does being a slave for Chloe entail?
What? Wait. You want to ask Jepepe?
So, yeah. So what does it entail? Like being a slave. Like what do you have to do here?
What does she have to do for you? No, what do you have to do for her? Oh yeah, what does she have to do for you?
She's been calling me slave for the last 3 maps.
But well, because she has to give the support, right, as an initiator, I guess that's the reason why. But yeah, I mean, I love the conversion of the win from map number 1 and the progression from map number 2 and 3. A big congratulations to you, Sway, and for the rest of the teammates here. I mean, you got a 3-0. That was something unexpected, so that's a well-deserved win. You guys need the rest, your beauty sleep, and even probably more games of Valorant. Thank you so much for joining the interview.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Oh, they're so cute. I love them. I love the energy coming from them. Honestly, really excited to see where they go from here. And I have to say, with the addition of these 2 players, like Lax just subbing in 3 days ago and doing this well is absolutely insane to me. It's mind-blowing.
It seems as if they were really prepping for this for a couple of weeks now, but Lax came in at the very last minute. But I guess Lax wasn't necessarily Lax. She really showed up for the team members, and that's why they are qualified for VCT Game Changers Elite. OG takes the 4th spot, but we still have 2 in the making for the whole weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be super exciting as we see X10 Sapphire take a round either against Nigma Galaxy FE or Xeaora. And then finally tomorrow we are gonna be seeing as well L Streaks versus Zol Meraki as well. This is gonna be a match to remember, so don't miss it at all. It's gonna be a 4 days full of VCT Game Changers overtime. You don't want to miss it because we want to see who exactly are gonna be the new queens. Is it gonna be AE once again, or is it going to be a brand new team? And then again, we are at the end of tonight's broadcast. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending time with me as well as Donut. We really enjoyed you guys. And if you guys are on Twitter, let us know what your favorite plays were. Tag FSL as well as us too, and let us tell your favorite players what you guys think. So Donut, do you have any final words?
I guess this is it. We're not ending it with a heartbreaking loss, but we're just going to celebrate the victory of OG, a well-deserved win. And I guess it's time to rest for those of you watching. So it has been me, Donut, with Tash Bunny. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Everybody down, every